when I stopped taking them down, things got very ugly. I had to put up no trespassing signs because he would just come over and knock on my door when I wasn't here, and my son wouldn't answer the door. A few months later, I guess, he went to jail, and Mrs. Vokes had messaged me saying that she was sorry and all this, and all I said to her was, listen, I don't want nothing to do with y'all. You stay over there and follow the HOA rules, and I'll stay over here and follow, the HOA rules. I want nothing.
You think he had opioids?
I don't know. I don't know if he was
like that.
I don't know what exactly was going on. All I know is that to me, it didn't look like it was on the up and up, and I didn't want anything to do with it.
Ma'am, you know anything about you want to address this at all? I know it's your ex perhaps, so you said word on the street, whatever the gossip is right now.
He was addicted to dextromethorphan, which is the main ingredient in cough medicine. It's not my job to go knocking door to doorbell like a salesman and announce that he's a drug addict. If you're getting strangers rides, that is giving a stranger a ride. That is like a cautionary tale.
He was my neighbor. I was trying to be a decent neighbor.
And you're placing the blame inappropriately on me.
Are you, ma'am? I'm not sure you were telling me the facts, but I don't know if you were blaming her.
I wasn't blaming her. She's like being good neighbors. I tried to be a good neighbor. I got kicked in the butt for it. I'm not up for it for the other half of the couple.
And yeah, I got it. Yeah, they're one and the same to you. I understand that.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you give me some background on when you were living there. If you was your neighbor or if you still are. Tell me.
Well, I bought my house in 2013. I realized she had lived there in 2015. I guess she bought it at the end of 2014. It was the no trespassing signs that kind of made me recognize that she was living in the home in the first place. And for me, it was kind of peculiar and aggressive. At the time, I had not realized that he was going and knocking on doors. I had purposely left him without a vehicle, without access, without anything. It was later brought to my attention that he was going over there and doing that. But I had tried to negate the no trespassing signs with like, you're beautiful, have a wonderful day, neighbor, and she got really upset about these signs that told her to have a good day and called for security and had them come knock on my door and demand I either take the signs down or get a fine.
More of Judge Mathis when we return.
I lost a job
Up with your
opportunity
mess.
because of this stuff.
Now this is one thing I can't keep up with your man. You got so much. First the man taking you to the emergency. Now secondly she called you something and now you suing her. And then thirdly you go after the homeowners association because they didn't get her what I had.
He had come over and introduced himself, had me running him down to
You
CVS.
guess it's her ex. If you don't know, don't be throwing no gossip out there. You're already in trouble for gossip.
Plaintiff Lisa Hanna and her daughter Courtney Shambo are suing their neighbor, who claims Lisa has done nothing but harass her and her family for years.
They were placed right opposite my no trespassing sign.
On her property though.
Yes, my no trespassing signs were on my
And
property.
they were positive
And then-
messages.
Well, the positive messages weren't necessary. I just wanted her husband to
But
stay
that's
off
what
my
they
property.
were. On her property, you had signs
Yes.
of positive messages. On your property, you had a sign that said, I'll shoot you if you come in here.
Well, it just said no trespassing. Violators will be
That's what when I
prosecuted.
put my sign out, this sign, no trespassing, that's what I mean. All right. I don't have any, but if I don't have any, yeah, but if I do, that's what I would mean. All right. Okay, and how did this defamation come about? What are you alleging she did?
Well, there were previous posts on Facebook that she posted, and I had her served with a cease and desist order on June 10th of 2020.
What did she post?
If you look at page 3 of the evidence I sent in,
What is it gonna tell?
the comment at the top is from Ms. Vokes that says, the woman is not a Grinch, she's a grown A bully, and I have statements that would blow you out of the water to prove it. You definitely have me back
was this too?
It was on a social committee for our homeowners association. I also have a suit against my homeowners association for the post that started this whole mess after the cease and desist order. I lost my job opportunity because of this stuff.
What y'all can't keep up with your mess? You got so much. First the man you taking you to the furniture. Now secondly she called you something and now you suing her. And then thirdly you go after the homeowners association because they didn't get her for what I had.
No, it's not that they didn't get her. It's not that they did it. Me going after the homeowners association is because they started this whole tirade of negative things posted about me on Facebook that lost my job opportunity.
The association did.
The social committee chairperson, yes.
Okay. Was the chairperson acting in his individual capacity or was he acting on behalf of the homeowners association?
On
Meaning they
behalf
had
of
a
the
meeting.
homeowners association
Okay.
committee.
And they
She
had a
posted
meeting,
what
that
she
means they
posted.
had a meeting or a phone call or whatever and said,
Yes.
Lisa's a problem. Any comment?
Exactly.
They were
Yes.
discussing you in a defamatory way. All right.
Yes, sir.
And she got involved how, in your opinion?
On page 3, she
Uh-huh.
referred to me that I'm not a Grinch, I'm a grown
But
age.
show me something that sets that up.
Page 1 is the original post that I received a very nasty message from the Grinch woman. See, I was working from home, and I had gotten a Facebook message from a woman, I have no idea who she is, telling me about these posts that were posted on Facebook about me, that I should call the police because there were threats being made to my person and my property. So I did contact the police, who said that they really couldn't do anything because no action had been taken at that
First
point
of all,
in
did
time.
you ask her to show you or direct you to those posts?
Oh, she sent them to me.
Well, let me see those.
Page 11.
I don't know if you read, you're referring to the, but I thought you should be aware that your name is being put out. Show me where your name is.
On page 13
Yes.
is my name mentioned by someone at the middle of the page. It says, "Dear community members, don't be so mean. Miss Lisa Hannah is all worried."
So telling people to leave you alone. So we need to do our part and help her.
Her comment is on page 15. I'm not surprised.
page
She's my
3.
next door
Okay.
neighbor.
She said, I'm not surprised, she's my next door neighbor. Yeah.
Yes, Heather Vokes
Yeah.
posted that.
And
I don't
she
make
is
her kids
surprised.
cry.
I need to know
I don't-
that.
I don't
Yeah, you're
interact
gonna have
with
to,
her children.
you're gonna have to prove that, man. Let me hear from you, man.
Okay, she does not make my kids cry in front of her, but the actions that she does do make my kids cry.
Okay, you have evidence of that? You have a letter from them? You have anything from a therapist they can talk to?
I don't know that I have evidence, but I can speak on behalf, my daughter calls her mean. My daughter calls her mean. We recently found out she's moving and my daughter is danced.
What did she say to her?
She calls security on a weekly basis.
Saying
What I have,
what was the complaint?
the complaints would be noise because my dog would be barking too much, or
She
that
tired
we were
dogs
playing
to
too loud,
worry
All right, man. What else?
that we were playing music too loudly outside, so my kids wouldn't be allowed to play music. We literally, the last time she was out there, because sometimes they go outside the home cursing and being loud and belligerent, and just being ignorant sometimes. And the last time she did that, I had to put my children in the car and move my property.
she started off was exactly right. She caught my attention. I said, you know what? At this time, I'll meet your friend. He was my best friend or whatever. One day, he was on the phone with her. I'm like, yo, you cute. I'm gonna make you my next big mama. She was like, sure enough, that. So from there on, everything was going great. It was a lovely experience, but obviously with every relationship, there's always ups and downs. For my down part, I cheated. I cheated prior, before she was pregnant, and during the pregnancy. From there on out, I found out she also decided she wanted to cheat also. From there on, we did make a vow saying we was gonna fix ourselves, fix each other, actually become a family. February of 2021, we actually called it quits. And as of now, we're just co-parents.
Why did you all break up?
It got to a point of violence, a really violent stage
Why you laugh?
in our relationship.
Why you laugh?
Because I mean,
Nobody was hurt?
honestly, I wish it never did get to that point. To be honest, she's a lovely woman. She's a lovely mother.
Obviously, no one was seriously hurt.
No one seriously.
I know you would have laughed that up. Okay. And ma'am, let's get to the sofa and the car repairs that you're suing for.
We went to a furniture store, not too long after moving into our apartment.
I don't know when you moved in. Ma'am, I don't
We
know.
moved into our apartment in 2019.
Okay.
We were trying to build our credit, so we both applied for a loan. At that time, we were not only buying a sofa, but a table. The sofa went under my name because I qualified for a higher loan. Gabriel's word to me was, don't worry about it because I have the money for it, I'll pay for it, even if it is in your name, just so that we can go ahead and increase and start a credit. Now, I never had a credit line before.
And what did happen? Did he ever pay any money on it?
Nope, he did
Okay.
not pay any
And
money on it.
all right, and who has the sofa?
Currently, the sofa resides with me at my apartment.
Okay, what's the balance?
The balance, if you look at the evidence I have for you at page 1, the balance is currently $2183.63.
Let's go now to the car repairs you're suing for.
Mr. Vernon is a co-signer for my car. He, on November 4th, said, let's go out, let's go make money, delivering food. Went out, my car got hit, basically totaled at the scene almost. And when the police officer asked if there was insurance, Gabriel told him no. Now, before we went outside that day, I asked Gabe if he had gotten insurance on the car. He told me, yes, I have insurance. The insurance that he had, Your Honor, was only liability. So regardless to the fact, my car was never gotten fixed.
Yes.
As a result, then, taking my car to go get looked at, the total of the damages was $6,500. My family offered to pay $2,000 worth, which is also in the evidence for you, find out that you can see on page 3, which then left me with $4,500. Because Gabe was the one that was driving and also let me out on false pretenses that he did have insurance on the car, he offered to pay. Now, he said that at the scene, and he also said that to my mother. For both instances, my mother was a witness to him saying that he would actually pay for and help pay for the 2 items.
Okay, and you have a statement in that regard from your mother?
Yes, that would be page 4 for you, for the statement with mother.
Judge Mathis rules on this dispute shortly.
Marshall's buyers have a very particular set of skills. They can hunt down the latest trends and take quality very, very seriously. They're highly trained deal-making professionals who travel far and wide to hustle the best of the best for you. We get the deals. You get the good stuff. Marshall's.
Plaintiff Brigette Waddell is suing her ex-boyfriend, who admits that he cheated on Brigette both before and during her pregnancy.
What do you say to these two things?
With the couch, we were together. We're together in a relationship, so we just got a place. So obviously, a couple that just has a place, obviously want to make agreements for most things, whatever you want to furnish the crib for. We had a settlement agreements in front of who was helping us. I put the table in my name, you put the couch in your name. At the end of the day, it was an agreement. My thing is, once we broke off the relationship,
What was
I left
the
her
agreement?
everything.
What was the agreement that you all each
The
paid?
agreement was, I will put the table, because I can afford
No, I got good. I'm saying pay. Who was to pay?
pay?
What was the agreement on pay?
At that moment in time, I was making greater money, so yes, I was saying I would help. I'm not paying the whole thing off.
Help pay what? Help pay what? You got two things.
Oh, the couch.
Okay.
I said I would help pay for it, which I did. I helped pay for the couch.
How much?
She barely put
How
anything
much?
into the couch.
How much?
At least $1,500.
Okay. So did he pay $1,500 on the couch, ma'am? Okay, you have any evidence that you paid anything?
No.
So, car repairs, what do you say to that?
The car repairs, I'm not paying for it. I'm the one that bought her. So no, I'm not paying for the car repairs. Their insurance is her fault. I have insurance on my car. So my thing is, why don't you have insurance on your car? Obviously, if you know you have to get around, why not have insurance on your own
All right.
vehicle?
First, let me correct you on something. This is what you said. You said, I got her that car.
That's all, yes.
That's part
I
of
bought her a car.
what you wanted back.
No, I know, that's the thing.
Well, then, that's irrelevant. That was her car. It's irrelevant if you bought it because you gave it to her as a gift. Now, what happened when you totaled it?
So someone hit our car because she said we was doing delivery.
Hour? What do you mean hour?
Well, together at that time we was together, so it was
I know, but you had gave it to her, it's her car.
Right.
No, yes, but we live together, so
I understand that, but I'm giving cars to a lot of people who live with me and it's theirs. It's not mine.
Let me restate that for you. Her car, I drove her car while we was doing deliveries. Okay. All right. So from there on, someone hit her car.
While you were driving?
Situation.
While you were
Yes,
driving?
I was driving. Yes. Hit her car. There was a hit and run situation. Called the cops. The person ended up leaving, running, leaving the scene, all that stuff. So when I said, "Hey, do you have insurance on her car?" She cried. At that time, she was going through the works. She was crying. It was a very emotional round for her. So I said, "Do you have insurance?" She said, "No." I said, "Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to add your car to my insurance." Before the cops get here, at the time I didn't have the money to pay
Before
for
the
it.
cops get here.
For money to add her car into my insurance to try to get the damages done.
Oh,
Clear
okay.
off and everything.
All right, so you attempted to pay for it.
Yes.
And because you failed, you changed your mind. That's not how it works. When you attempt to do things because you want to, and you can't not want to after you've agreed and led her down the road and saying that you're gonna pay for something that happened while you were driving it. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Man.
I honestly just hope that it never has to get to this point again and that he gets some type of financial help.
Legal cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Roshan Laurie was engaged to the defendant, but he broke up with her after she refused to take a Zoom meeting to be an extra in a Tyler Perry movie. Roshan suing because he claims the defendant slashed his tires and defamed him. Defendant Crystal Moss says Roshan is petty and immature, and after he broke up with her, he went on Facebook Live and started bad-mouthing her and calling her out of her name.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
State your name, sir.
Hi, I'm Rashawn Laurie. I go by Sean Brown, the class clown.
All right. Ma'am?
Crystal Wallace.
Okay. And sir, you a comedian or something?
I am a comedian. I'm in Savannah, Georgia. I'm like a local comedian. I have been on Ridiculousness, Telemundo, a lot of things. I have a mobile casket that I drive, and yeah.
What they got to do with being a comedian?
Oh, well,
The
Your Honor,
casket part, that's what threw me off.
well, Your Honor, I'm not the comedian. I am more of a stunt comedian. I have raccoons.
All right, I practice insult humor.
I do know.
That's a genre. People are, when people criticize it, they need to know. You can't tell me in 1 minute I'm funny, and in the next minute say I don't like your type of humor.
Exactly.
My humor is insult humor. So, but I'm glad to hear about the career. How long have you been doing comedy?
I only been doing it 3 years now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And it's Class Clown?
It's class time, yes, sir.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for you. Tell me how you know the defendant here.
Well, Your Honor, this beautiful young lady that I thought was going to be my fiance, well, she was my fiance. I met her at a show. She was.
How long ago?
7 months ago.
Okay.
We got engaged in that 7 months.
Really?
Yes, sir.
How many months in did you get engaged?
Your Honor, the first time I seen her, she was married when I first met her. She was on the stages of divorce, 3 months, 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
After 3 months, you proposed?
Yes, sir.
Had she been divorced? The paperwork the ink was dry?
Well, it was
Meaning had the judge signed off and said, you are divorced.
2 months within remaining, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And how do things work out since then? Must not have been too bad. You're here. But tell me,
At first, Your Honor, it was great. It was great. I started putting her on some of my skits that I do. We even made our own series called Pillow Talk that we talked about a relationship stuff. We lay in bed and we talk about relationship stuff. And it was great at first.
and then you found out she was on crack?
What?
I couldn't wait till you say that.
No, I'm just saying. The reason I say that, I tell people all the time, you can be with someone and don't know anything about them for at least a year. I say you can go as a crackhead without being discovered for a year. You go in that bathroom, what you doing? I'm using it. And then the next thing you know, they disappearing on the weekends. Where did you go? I went to see my mom. And then boom, 6 months later, you catch her with the pipe in her mouth.
She's not no crack. She don't even smoke cigarettes.
You don't know what she do. You don't know her. That's my point. You don't listen. You don't know her. She could smoke cigarettes, crack, heroin, crystal meth. You don't know what she does. Ma'am, have you ever done any of those things?
No.
See? Oh, you said no. Okay. But I'm just saying, you don't know a person. I ain't mean to throw you off, but our judge is real.
Your Judge Matthew, you was the realest. Oh my God. I knew you were gonna say something about crack.
So tell me about the relationship, ma'am. You tell me about the relationship.
Yes, like he said, I met Roshan last year. We started dating. Everything was fine.
You found out he was on pills?
No, I just found out that he was very petty and immature.
At what point? Second month? Third month? What?
No, right after he broke up with me through Facebook.
How many months had you all been dating?
This
at that time?
was like after like the 8th month.
Why did you all break up?
I have no idea.
Why don't you ask him? He's here.
Your Honor,
You tell me she wanna know.
Your Honor, she know why we broke up.
Why?
Your Honor, like I said, I'm really advocate about, I think that's the right word, advocate. You know what I'm talking about.
What?
You met this guy, Tyler Perry. You in one of his movies.
Yes.
She do security. She did security for one of his movies he's shooting in Georgia. She met him. She had a Zoom meeting to do a extra in his movie. Now I do everything that I do. I'm doing what I do. I've been on Ridiculous. I've been on Telemundo. I've been doing a lot of things to make my comedy work. Self-made. She had a Zoom meeting to be an extra. She told me about it. I said, babe, you gonna do this Zoom meeting? She said, no. I said, I'm gonna do the Zoom meeting. She said, no. I said, let's do it together. She said, no, Your Honor. Well, all I'm doing, so I left. I'm like, if you don't support my dreams, you don't support me at all. This is my dream. And so I had to leave.
Because she wouldn't let you eat off of her back, you broke up with her. Because she wouldn't let you eat off her plate.
Exactly. Not is that exactly, because if you know your man got a dream, a mission. Look, if she was to do hair, nails, eyebrows, toes tomorrow, guess what? I support her. If she want to do makeup, I even let her put makeup on me because I support her. Whatever you want to do, I will support her. She didn't support me.
I'm with you on that.
You know?
However, you believe she didn't support you because she failed to bring you in on an opportunity that she didn't want, but you hadn't been invited by the producers.
More of Judge Mathis in a moment.
She should have the same dream for herself that you have for yourself. Why? You gonna make her be what you wanna be? She don't wanna be what you wanna be. You know, you go in that bathroom, what you doing? I'm using it. And then next thing you know, they disappearing on the weekends. Where did you go? I went to see my mom. And then boom, 6 months later, you catch her with the pipe in her mouth.
She's not no crack. She don't even smoke cigarettes.
You don't know what she do. You don't know her.
Defendant Crystal Moss is being sued by her ex-fiance, who claims after he broke up with Crystal, she slashed his tires.
How could you have taken her place or shared the opportunity if they were looking for a woman?
I couldn't, Your Honor.
So how did she cross you? What did she do?
Your Honor, I
What
wanted.
could she have done? Because
She
they
should
wanted
have
to
took the opportunity, even if my name wasn't in it, Your Honor. It wasn't about me. It was about this opportunity. It's not often that a mega star, a guy who came from nothing, from doing playwrights,
Super
to
producer.
come to, and this is the woman that I lay in the bed with every night. Two.
Who, Medea or her? You talking, you said you, okay, go ahead though. Medea's Tyler Perry's role as a woman, y'all. Go ahead.
Yeah, Your Honor, but she had the opportunity. You know, that's like a big opportunity for someone who's chasing
For her.
For us.
The opportunity was,
We
you
engaged.
could not have substituted. You could not have stood in for that opportunity.
We
So what
engaged.
you're saying, it sounds like, is that she should have the same dream for herself that you have for yourself.
Yes.
Why? You gonna make her be what you wanna be? She don't wanna be what you wanna be. My wife Linda don't wanna go to law school, work in politics, run for judge, get on television. She don't wanna do that. So, if she got the opportunity to do it and said, no, I don't wanna do that, am I supposed to get mad? Why would you do that for yourself? So I don't wanna do it. That's not what I wanna do. I wanna teach. I wanna be a teacher. What do you wanna be? Maybe you
Probation
could take
officer.
that role. Huh?
Probation officer.
Probation officer. So this is her ambition. How do you make her ambition your ambition?
Your Honor, if she want me to go out and help her find who's smoking weed on their program, I would help her. That's my fiance. But that's what I want to do. I wanted to do that, Your Honor. And so I left that night. I left after she told me no. You know, and I said, you know, baby, you.
Let's make it clear again. Told you no
Yeah.
to having a Zoom call for a position
What time?
that was designated for a woman.
What time her?
Right, but you couldn't.
That's the only part he
qualify.
hears. Tyler Perry.
He wanted, so you were going, did you tell her that part? Did you say, baby, I'll dress up like a woman if I need to?
Sometimes she be wanting that job.
Did you say, you do it too? That's wrong, that's our private business, do what you do. Young lady, what do you say to this? Because I believe you support him and his career, but you
Yes, Judge,
can't.
I do support him, but that's not my dream. I don't wanna act, that's his dream. So I told him no, and then like I said, next thing you know, he been very disrespectful on Facebook Live, calling me all the B words, and then he broke up with me, and he just,
Tell me, who has some evidence? I wanna see exactly what you're saying she did to you. Any texts or any of these defamatory statements on the internet, regarding, what he alleges you did to him? Oh, what do you have? What he said? what
he
you
sent
did
me
back?
some inbox messages about his tires that I slashed,
About what?
some tires.
That's not what I'm asking you about. I'm asking about these allegations that you stopped his career from moving forward with this failure room with Tyler Perry? That's what I wanna see. And do you have any evidence where you specified what she did wrong? Because
I have some evidence, y'all.
yeah, what
I have some
page?
evidence. Page 3, y'all.
Okay. You don't make any, you read the allegation on page 3.
Okay, on page 3, I said on Facebook, I took pictures of my tires. What had happened was, Your Honor, she came to the house to talk to me because I left that day and that night, and she came to my grandma's house and I had to go get me my lottery tickets because lotto is over at 12 o'clock in Georgia, so I had to go pay my cash 3 numbers. And I walked. She said, "I want to talk to you." I said, "No, I'm going to the store." Next thing I come back, she's gone and my tires are slashed. These are my tires slashed. I thought it was just 2, Your Honor, but it happened before 4 tires.
Okay, I was asking first to show me where you listened to her, how she denied you an opportunity to advance your career. So you don't have anything indicating that you told her specifically that?
No.
Okay, so now we're on the property, and what do you say to this, ma'am?
Yes. So I did slice the tires, and the reason I did because I felt like he was very immature, disrespecting me, and I
How
texted.
was he disrespecting?
He got on Facebook Live, just calling me all the B word, just talking
Just
bad about
because
me.
you wouldn't
Yeah,
let
just
him
because
have
of
the
the
opportunity
audition.
to Zoom?
Yes. I did nothing wrong, and I'm like, you disrespecting me. I called them up, and I was like, listen, can you please, stop talking bad about me. If you want to talk, do whatever. Just leave me off your page. And he was like, okay, but then every time I got on Facebook, he's live, just bashing me, saying all type of stuff. So I was like, you know what?
What is this? Just continuing. Sir, did you continue to go on Facebook Live about this issue of her not allowing you to take her opportunity?
Your Honor, I did call her the B word. But Your Honor, every time her and her friends get on the phone, as soon as they answer the phone, B this, B, what's up, B? What's up? Let me tell you what happened, B, at the glare last night, B. So if they can say the B word, why I can't say the B word? I didn't, what? It's a double standard. That's not fair. That's
You
not
wasn't
fair.
saying
Well,
like
you
that
talk-
either.
The less I think of your ability to analyze and with clear logic. Let me ask you a question. We can get past this real quick. Do you ever use the N-word among your boys and your friends?
I do.
If a white person did it with you, would you get mad?
Your Honor, you're right. You're right.
You would
I
be
should say
upset.
that.
You would be upset.
You're
So
right.
my point is, women can call each other bees. So don't come in here talking like you don't understand that. I believe you know that. Defamation, how does she defame you?
Okay, Your Honor. Listen, I was when you're in the bedroom with your wife, everybody who got a woman, before y'all get married or whatever, you want to tell them everything about you, right? So I told her something 20 years ago when I was in the Army, when I got out of basic training, AIT, I said, look, we about to get married. I want to tell you something. I met this girl in the club. We was dancing. I was drinking a little bit. And kind of find out, you know what I'm saying? It was a guy. You know what I'm saying? So I told her that. You know what I'm saying? That was 20 years ago. And she didn't put it out there on Facebook, but I guess she was talking to one of her friends and told her, well, should that have been told?
We'll be right back.
Look, now the world know.
Judge Mathis.
That's like you was living good on social media?
Yes, on page 15, if you wanna look.
Oh, you doing just what I talked about.
What is that?
You count money.
Yeah,
You count your dollars.
you see the
Don't look at me like that.
Just like
I don't remember that. I really don't.
One of summer's greatest hits is Macy's July 4th sale. Save on shorts, tees, and swim from your favorite brands. It's a lovely way to celebrate the holiday.
Do you have a pending lawsuit that you want Judge Mathis to decide? If so, call 1-888-VERDICT or visit us online at www.judgemathistv.com.
Every time her and her friends get on the phone, as soon as they answer the phone, B this, B, what's up, B? What's up? Let me tell you what happened, B, at the Claire last night, B. So if they can say the B word, why I can't say the B word? I didn't, what? It's a
the less I think of your ability to analyze and with clear logic.
Defendant Crystal Moss is being sued by her ex-fiance, who claims after he broke up with Crystal, she slashed his tires.
Let me hear from you about this.
Well, after he broke up with me, and my, used to be best friend, we was talking and just venting, and I told her the situation.
What?
About like, he told me about, years ago, he didn't know it was a guy or whatever, so I told her, I didn't tell her for her to put it out there. I just told her, and I thought that she would have kept it to herself. I got on Facebook the next morning, and then she had publicly put it out there.
You have that Facebook post? Where she mentioned that is terrible. That your friend would mention something. That's you need to be sued, sir. Which page is the post on?
Page 3.
Whomever no dude, he undercover gay. Bestie won't expose his A, but will. So she's in fact saying that she won't expose you.
Yeah.
This person, this is who you should have sold, sir.
I told her something happened 20
How
years
much for your tires, sir?
$350.
$350 is your judgment, nothing for defamation. You admitted to slicing his tires, because he was degrading you, and you better be glad, you just sliced his tires, right?
Exactly.
All right, judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day. $350 for your tires.
Alright, I'm just glad I got my tires back since I've been walking for the longest. My shoes been dirty for the longest, so I'm getting my tires back. Thank you, Judge Mathis.
I'm just happy I'm done with him, because you're not even funny.
Plaintiff Asia Yates was friends with the defendant, and she claims the defendant portrays one image on social media, but in reality, she's untrustworthy and inconsiderate. Asia suing her former friend today for breach of contract and emotional distress. Defendant Kayla Walker says she and Asia were good friends until Asia spit on her, attacked her, and harassed her at her job. Kayla's countersuing for the harassment and emotional distress.
Okay, so I met the defendant Kayla back in 2016 in college. But we weren't as close, but we became a little bit more closer back further into 2019 when I let her come stay the weekend with me because due to her participating in women's football, which I also later on became interested in. But with her staying with me that weekend, after that weekend was over, she just never left from then on out. So just with her staying with me and everything, getting to know Kayla, like she did become like a sister to me, and we did a lot of things together. However, if anyone, looking down the outside, looking in to Kayla, can see that, she's always on her phone. She's always on social media. She's always on all social media platforms, just trying to portray like a certain image of, who she wants to be. But in all reality, I actually knew the real Kayla.
Isn't that what most folks do on Instagram? They front like they're something that they're not?
Yep, face lodge and everything. So, which I found out her to be this different person, which was just very untrustworthy, just very uncleanly, and just very inconsiderate, just overall.
Now, when did you realize she wasn't leaving? Because she only came to stay a week or a weekend. So what'd you say 3 weeks later?
Yeah, so I said 3 weeks later, Kayla, you've been living with me all this time. I need to know, when you're leaving, or if you do want to stay with me, then I would have to make other arrangements.
She said, I'll let you know, and you never heard another thing.
No. So,
I'll let you know. What'd she say?
Yeah, so
She
did tell me that she apologized, that she didn't really tell me that she said she thought she told me that she was gonna stay with me, but like I said, we never had this conversation. So pretty much we kind of settled out, you could get me a job and we can, just pretty much just starting the moving forward process of her becoming my roommate.
Okay, let me get a little background from her. Ma'am?
Judge, Your Honor. So, for one, the statement that she made was a lie. Because I came on a weekday on April 3rd, 2019. I remember the date, it was the day before my mom's birthday. Mind you, I did tell her that I was coming for, like, I was there for 2 weeks for football games, for women's football.
There's more Judge Mathis after this.
Okay, I hear you, I see you. I know you text me, I see him, I text you back, but I feel like it's appropriate. So I still text you back.
When do you feel it's appropriate to text someone who you owe money to and they're asking for their money? When do you find it appropriate to respond?
She's always on her phone. She's always on social media. She's always on all social media platforms, just trying to portray like a certain image of who she wants to be. So.
Isn't that what most folks do on Instagram? They front like they're something that they're not.
Plaintiff Asia Yates is suing her former friend, who claims Asia spit on her, attacked her, and harassed her at her job.
Where did you play football at?
Daytona Beach, Florida, for Daytona Waverly.
And they travel as a traveling team?
Yes, sir. We travel sometimes. Yes, we do.
Good. All right, and so
I did have a returning flight back to the state that I came from, which was Arkansas, and I was putting a kind of notice for my job. My mom found out, and you know how parents are once you don't tell them things. I moved kind of funny with my mom. She got mad at me and was like, "Well, you cannot stay back here no more." Understandable. So I'm kind of on my own. But that being said, like I did tell Dakota what happened. So she didn't know about that.
But did you ask her whether you could stay with her for an extended
I
time?
was telling her, I told her, like, I would just go back to my home city, which is Lakeland, Florida, which is like an hour, 30 minutes out from Daytona. Pretty much, she was just like, well, okay, this and that and the third. We'll talk more about it, and I really don't think we even went into full depth conversation of it. It just happened like I'm saying it. So that is what happened. I got a job and things of that nature when I was down in Daytona. Now, part of the social media life, who don't lie on social media? I'm not gonna feel like I'm this big baller person that got money.
But a lot of folks don't lie.
Everybody's gonna tell a lie every now and then, but on my social media pages, I don't sit there and just front like, oh, I'm the baddest, so I got this and that and the third, I got this money.
You don't show your guns, your weed, and your money.
Guns with no.
Oh, that's what a lot of kids do. How old are you?
No, sir. No.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
And don't you see a lot of that on social media?
Yes, sir, I do.
Them fools who are begging the police to come and arrest them. They think it's legal or something. The police officer I use when I'm in Detroit, Ken, he tells me that that's how they've been busting most of these kids. They put stuff on the internet, stacks of money, stacks of dope, and then guns. All of them, like, look at me, I'm playing. That's another caution to you young folks who are not thinking the consequences of your actions. And because here you flashing all that stuff, now you gotta pay. Here you owe somebody and you on Instagram flash, playing big. Not you want her money. But you broke all along. You just front.
Who, me? Oh, no. I never flashed no money on social media.
You act like you were doing well. What'd she do? What'd she show? You act like she was living good on social media?
Yes, on page 15 if you want to look.
Oh, you doing just what we talked about.
What is it at?
You count money.
Yeah.
You count your dollars.
You see the
Don't
hand?
look at me like that.
Just like
I don't remember that. I really don't.
Yeah.
I can't see
It's
what
more pictures than that.
Put it all the way up there to the screen. She can't see it. Now you see it.
No, I still no, I can't.
I know you can't. Well, I can. And you sitting up here counting money. And this is exactly what Your
Yeah, yes, sir.
consequence, the consequence you're suffering from that is being sued. She might not have sued you, or may not have sued you so soon. But damn, she see you count money here. Coming for my money, I'd sue you too.
I got that one. I got that right there.
Alright, so just once again, you busted yourself by Instagram. Alright. So what about the breach of contract with the rooming, suppose it's for rent or something? Tell me about the 2,500.
So, it's actually a breakdown, so it was actually 1,700, you can look on page 19.
The apartment bill is for 1,500. Then I see the loan for the rental car, you have two. 1,287, 1,275, and 166 for the loan on a phone bill. Now let me ask about the car rentals. You put them in your name or you just gave her the money?
Yeah, so I had it in my name, however, she brought it to my attention like, hey, you know, both of these were during, well, one was during her birthday, while I allowed her to, you know, we were all gonna use the vehicle, the same, but more so, it was just for her birthday so that we could get around, just, you know, whatever she liked to do on her birthday, and I would let her drive, you know. So it was in my name, and it was something that we both went half on. So her half was that 287.
Okay.
Don't go away. More of Judge Mathis is coming up.
Taylor, how dare you? You
How
ignorant.
dare you sit
You
there and
ignorant.
lie?
You're ignorant. See, well, my life, I sat there and gave up. I feel the same thing. You shut up. Fuck me, bro. You sat there and keep my head. I don't know. See, I don't get up.
There is a place where there are no roads, no conveyances beyond two legs, or four. It's a vast swath of land set aside for adventure, for animals, for nature. We're visitors here, in America's first designated wilderness, the Gila.
Why use 10 buckets of water when you can use one fire extinguisher? And to fight heartburn, why take 10 antacids throughout the day when you can take one Prilosec? For easier heartburn relief, one beats 10. Prilosec OTC, one pill, 24 hours, zero heartburn. Court is back in session at Judge Mathis. If you have a case you want heard or a dispute you need settled, call us at 1-888-VERDICT.
Plaintiff Asia Yates is suing her former friend, who claims Asia spit on her, attacked her, and harassed her at her job.
What about the next one? And, oh, that's the same date, it appears, or the same month. What happened?
It shouldn't be. That second one should be, that was more so during, Thanksgiving. We both just went half on a real pretty much. And that wasn't, it wasn't that she didn't pay me for the rental, it's because she didn't pay me for the fees that she absolutely put on there. She was smoking in the car, so that left a fee on there, which she did not pay.
And
Yes.
okay, yeah, like that's what they used to do to me when I smoke in the motels and I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, she was smoking black and
I always have to let folks know my flaws. I break the hotel policy and I get fined $250 because I did wrong. Because I'm flawed like everybody else. I curse like a sailor when I get off of here. You smoking in that car? That's what you need to talk about. Are you smoking in that car?
I didn't tell you that. Before I even got that rental on that same day.
Because I don't smoke no more. I stopped smoking when Obama stopped smoking. I figured the president could stop, I could. So what about you? When you gonna stop? Have you stopped
Her
smoking?
friend in that car smoking weed before I got there.
I'm asking about you.
I'm making now, I think it's okay. I paid for it, I'm paying for it.
No, you haven't paid for it. You got a fine and you haven't. Did you smoke weed or cigarettes?
No, I smoke Black and Mild, sir.
That's one step from weed, black and mild. Alright, you probably stuffed some weed in there, trying to make a blunt. Aren't you supposed to pull the thing off, aren't you? What is it? Alright. why don't
John,
you?
can I say something?
Yes.
She was trying to say, and always trying to point the finger at me like, oh, her friends are smoking in there. She was my only friend. This is like a sister to me, so I didn't smoke in that car at all. And I just want to remind, we are under oath, aren't we, Judge?
Yes.
So I'm
I
not.
just want to make
Oh
sure that
my God, Lord have mercy.
we're not supposed to be lying at all under oath. So I just want to make sure that everything is clear because I was not smoking in that car. She knows that she's smoking in that
My
car.
blood
She's
pressure.
in it too.
Your blood pressure going up.
It's up there so high. It's getting up there, y'all. It is. It's
You
getting
know,
up
like
there.
the truth, y'all.
A lie will run your blood pressure up
Yeah.
because you're scared you might get busted with your lies.
No, I ain't. Only thing scared of is God.
What do you want to say about the apartment bill first? Let's start there. That's the biggest amount, young lady. $1,500 on the apartment. If you fail to pay your share, after moving.
Hey, sir, but I do have a reason why I did not pay my share. So the reason why I feel like I should not pay my share is because the plaintiff has disrespected me. And what I mean by that is she spotted me at Walmart. I spotted her first, and she see me in, with my friends. I was like, oh God, I already know what's been transpired. So at that time, I did not want to fight because a brawl did happen. The reason why I did not want to fight is because, my mom's going through some things. She was sick on her deathbed. Then I had a job that I could not get anything on my record in order for me, for the state of Florida, to gain my license to be an insurance licensed agent. So I didn't want to fight. I started off as, I'm gonna slap the fat queen. So excuse me, I'm gonna slap the fat A friend. I asked her who. You be da da da. The friends gotta calm me down. Like, hey, like let's chill out. So she spit on me. So I
What was
like,
that about? Was that about she approached you about the money or something? How did it?
I guess she approached me about me not paying her. Yes,
Right.
sir. So I feel
She's
like,
lying, Your Honor.
so if I feel like
That's your counterclaim. We'll get to that, but we have to deal with what she's suing you about first.
More of Judge Mathis when we return. Plaintiff Asia Yates is suing her former friend, who claims Asia spit on her, attacked her, and harassed her at her job.
So you have to defend yourself against that rent. And you did say you owe, but you think that the incident
I was
was
gonna
wrong.
I have no problem with, and once we got done with the personal loans and me paying her like as what I owed her, I did not mind going into like, okay, let's start going ahead and pay on these apartments. I have no problem with that at all. I know what I signed. My fiance at the time was there and she witnessed me signing that. Like, okay, let's do this and this and that. But when that transpired and with her coming to my job acting a fool and that of that nature, I
All
said,
right, that's your counterclaim, but let me allow her to, give me, a little more information on the, claim itself. She agrees that she owes you, she's just saying that the way you, dealt with her, and she claims she alleges you, committed battery against her, spitting on her. So what's
Well,
the problem?
I just want to start by, talking about the job part, because that happened before the fire. So, me coming to her job is because she ignored me, Judge. I mean, when I asked her about her paying me, I get the other excuses after excuses after excuses, and then like it came to a point where I didn't hear anything from her, Judge. Anything.
Okay, and then what do you say happened?
I walked outside, I seen her, I was old drunk, like, she was deer in headlights, and it wasn't that I would not ignore her, I would text her.
What was she doing when she came to your job? That's where we're at now. You didn't know you.
She got the car and just stood like this, like aggressively, like looking at me like, so what's up?
In the parking lot?
Yes, in the parking lot.
She didn't go up to your office. She didn't go up to the workplace.
No, she was just outside.
And she said, "What's up? Where my money?"
She was just like, so what's going on? Like, I told her like, okay, I'll pay you once I get the money. Like, I still got bills and stuff to pay at home. I understand you got bills to grown too, but okay, I hear you. I see you. I know you text me. I see him. I text you
When do you feel it's appropriate to text someone who you owe money to and they're asking for their money? When do you find it appropriate to respond?
When I get the money. I told her before, like, okay.
Other than that, you just continue to ignore.
Ignore it.
All right, so I'm not gonna conclude you interrupted her workplace because you waited in the parking lot till she got off work. You talked with her, you didn't attack her. But the other part about spitting on her, why don't you explain what she's alleging there?
I promise, I did not spit on her. And spit never came out of my mouth. Okay, let me just start from the beginning.
We're under oath, and you're
I saw
lying,
her.
bro.
I saw
Come
her
on,
in
man.
Go ahead.
Oh, I saw her in Walmart after I saw her looking at me, and it proceeded to me that she was taunting me, like she had her phone up a certain way. I was under the impression that she was video recording me, so I proceeded to call my mom. I'm like, Mom, I see Kayla, she told me to go ahead and walk out the store. She's like, just go outside, just get out of her sight or whatever. So I did, so I proceeded, was on the phone with her. I was with with one of my close friends. So, I'm waiting outside for her. And our mutual friend who Kayla was with was like, hey, how are you? So I was like, I told her I don't want to talk. I said, I don't want to talk because you're with somebody that, that I don't like. And if she says something, I'm going to slap her. I did say it. I said it. So, Kayla like, slap who? So I'm like, and mind you, Judge, she didn't have to walk the same way.
My car is parked over there, so where else I'm gonna go?
I'm walking to the direction of my car. It was another way that she could have walked, but she chose to walk the same path. So, so after I did say I'm gonna end up slapping her. So she's saying slap who? We exchange words back and forth, and I did I was like, look,
You spit on her.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I read
that
it.
one-
Alright, yeah, so you talking about some. Yeah, nah, you spit on
I
her.
didn't spit on her at all. So she thought I did, and that's when she proceeded to hit, throw
And
punches
you
at me.
formed your mouth and you acted as
Oh,
if you were.
exactly.
Yes, I
That's
did.
disgusting.
I honestly wanted to. I wanted to see what she was gonna do about it because you're in my face.
Judge Mathis rules on this decision shortly. Is your ex seeking child support, but you think you need a paternity test? Call 1-888-VOTER or visit us online at www.judgemathistv.com. Plaintiff Asia Yates is suing her former friend, who claims Asia spit on her, attacked her, and harassed her at her job.
What happened after that?
After that, okay, so we ended up fighting, and she ended up kicking my car afterwards, and we ended up going our separate ways. So after we went our separate ways, she's calling my phone. She wants to fight again, and I do have
You
text
kidding me?
messages.
Hold on. She actually called and say, hey, I know you whooped my butt that time, but will you give me a second chance? Let's fight again.
Oh, she didn't say it like that, Your Honor. She was, you nasty B. Yeah.
You asked to fight again.
Yes, Your Honor, I probably did at the heat of the moment. But one of my friends claimed that she got me on the ground, but she kicked me several times in the head. And if you can look on page 2 of my evidence, stating that she did spat on me, and I had to go to the hospital because there's several blows in my head that she kicked me in my head.
That's what I want to know about. Now, that's important to know. Where is that at? You say look at page 2. It's in the
Yes,
police
sir.
report. Spitting on someone is very bad, but kicking them in the head on the ground is pretty extreme.
How dare you sit here and lie, Kayla? Like real stuff. Like how dare you sit here and lie?
I'm sitting here lying. I put this
Yes,
on my
you're
mama.
lying.
You know my mama had
You're
my
lying.
dead 4 years ago. And
You're
what's
lying.
pissing me off, you fought me when you knew my mom was in her deathbed sick.
No one was thinking about your mom.
What? I never thinking about my mom. I was going through enough, and
How
that
dare
lady
you
did all of that.
Situation.
Damn, I don't see anything about her kicking you in this.
That's disgusting.
Man,
That's disgusting.
But you know for a fact.
hold on. Does it say that or not, ma'am? Does it say she was kicking you? You
Oh, no,
told me it said she was
Your
kicking.
Honor.
I see nothing about that.
She's lying, Your Honor.
All I see is this
I'm not lying,
appears to
man. That's
be
from God.
mutual
I'm not-
hostility, mutual aggression, mutual combat. That's what I see. In fact, you even called her back to fight some more. And your claim for the
Oh my God.
breach of contract is $1,697. The other emotional distress for all this mess, you're not gonna receive that. You all will both be messy. Judgment for the bills that you're suing her for. Everything else is dismissed. Have a good day.
Tell them how dare
Man.
you.
How
Ignorant.
dare you sit there and lie?
You're ignorant. Stay on my life. I sat there and gave up. You sat there and took up for me, bro. You sat there and took up my head.
Legal cases.
She's sticking to that story.
Plaintiff India Collier met the defendant through her job, and she claims he caught her at a vulnerable time in her life. India says after they had sex a couple of times, she gave the defendant a loan, but she's suing because he failed to repay her. Defendant Anthony Ross insists India pursued a relationship with him, and although he admits that she did give him money, he claims she told him that he didn't have to worry about repaying her.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Give me some background here.
I actually have my own cleaning service, and I clean houses, and I also clean like different buildings and things, barbershops, anything that I can actually get scheduled.
Where?
In Albany, Georgia.
Okay. You have a company name?
From hoarders to home.
Say that first word again.
From where you
Second
from?
word.
Hoarders to home. Like hoarders,
Hoarders.
like you know the show, Hoarders show.
Oh, yeah.
So
I didn't think you saying nothing like that. I was quite just trying to understand what you were saying. Okay.
yes, sir. From hoarders to home. I like to take big jobs and like make it renovate them into like a whole new house. So that's my specialty to go in and do that.
Why are you laughing? You gonna get yourself in trouble, man.
I just figured out where you were.
Hey, you don't figure nothing out. You ain't figure nothing out that I did.
Yep.
No, sir. Don't put me in no mess. You in trouble all by yourself. All right, man.
And so I actually got a gig at a barbershop. And at this specific barbershop that I got a gig at, Mr. Ross was working at the actual barbershop. So it was on a Sunday, and it really wasn't supposed to be anybody in the barbershop because that's what the owner told me, nobody would be there. And when I pulled up, I couldn't even pull in the actual barbershop good before Mr. Ross, this big burly guy, just comes running out to my vehicle like, we don't want no cookies today, we ain't buying no cookies. And I wasn't even there to sell cookies. I know I don't even look like a Girl Scout,
Oh, he
but
said that to you.
yes, he came out, he was like, we don't want to buy no cookies today, ain't no barbers in here but me. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm not even here to sell cookies, I'm actually here to clean up. And so he went back in the barbershop. I think he might even still had the clippers in his hand when he ran out the door. So I'm like really confused about that. And so then once I got into the barbershop, he was apologizing and everything. Like he was very apologetic after it happened. But I let him know I don't even eat cookies. Like I don't even like cookies, and I know I don't look like I sell cookies. So that's how I actually met
Right.
the defendant.
And how did it go after you all met?
Downhill, uphill, downhill, down another hill. But they say life has peaks and valleys, and he was a valley. So that's how I went.
All right. You give me some background, sir.
So she came to the shop. There's a lady that had the same, and I explained it to her already. It was a woman that had a similar vehicle. She still cooked. A lot of vendors come to the shop. I saw her. The shop was closed. I didn't know that. The owner told her that. So when I went out to let her know we weren't buying no tickets, she was like, and I'm like, and I did apologize because I thought she was a vendor selling cookies. I didn't know she was a cleaning lady. And
Why would you block her like that anyway? You should have asked.
It didn't end there though.
no.
Valley.
she was like, I don't look like no cookie lady, not do it.
That's right, she was hot that night, doctor. That's right.
So I paused because
She had her outfit on.
and so I said, well, I already apologized to you about that. Well, I'm just letting you know, bop, bop, bop. And her friend thought, you know, we was gonna get into it. I'm like, no.
Let him finish.
Okay.
And her friend asked what was going on. And I guess as they walked out, she was trying to explain to her, and then she gonna whisper to me, you like what you see, huh? And I couldn't say no, I was shocked. So I just leaned back and I just chilled my friend for the rest of the night.
Did y'all start dating or not?
Well, what happened was
Yeah.
she sent me a friend request on Facebook. We started hanging out, and then she came over to my place a couple times. We had a situation here and there.
Oh, yeah, the situation
I
shit.
had a money situation. When I went to her about the loan, I asked her, could she help? She said yes. And
All right, let's get to the your version of the friendship. You tell me how the friendship went, and then we'll get to the loan.
Okay, it was not a club, it was the American Legion, and it was on a Sunday night when the elderly go to do karaoke. And so I was there because I seen myself, and I went with my friend, yes I did. But when I saw him, my friend never thought we was about to fight, never thought nothing like that. Because why would I actually like told him to lean down and whisper in his ear. So it wasn't no altercation or nothing like that. And then it was that same night that he actually gave me his phone number. I didn't send him a friend request on Facebook, me and him not even friends on Facebook or social media. To this day, we not.
There's more Judge Mathis after this.
Do you have the money to repay that $275 loan? You see it.
Now I know I'm reading this right.
Which
My
part?
door will remain open if you need any more.
You put them glasses
That was
back on, Judge.
good.
We need you a new prescription.
And coming up,
I have a passion for poodles. I have a passion for dogs.
Oh,
And I've
I
had
think you had a
dogs.
passion for fools, and that's why you're here. I'm much far from a fool.
You really needed a bumper?
Did you say burger?
No, bumper? This one's all smashed.
Cheeseburger. Guac, cheese, teriyaki sauce, pineapple, cheese. Sir, burger, cheese, teriyaki, pineapple, cheese, burger, cheese, lettuce, burger, cheese, teriyaki sauce, burger, pineapple, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, pineapple, cheese, teriyaki, sauce, burger.
Sweet, savory, holy teriyaki must have now. Brace yourself, the new teriyaki burger, only at Carl's Jr. Big burger.
Hey, I'm Miles, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A maple pepper bacon sandwich is how the flavors come together. You get the smokiness of the grilled chicken, the crispy sweetness of the bacon, and to top it all off, that maple brioche bun.
Real customer paid for their testimonial. One of summer's greatest hits is Macy's July 4th sale. Save on shorts, tees, and swim from your favorite brands. It's a lovely way to celebrate the holiday.
he came in with her homegirl, and she watered me, and she was like, I don't look like no cookie lady, not do it.
That's right, she was hot that night, doctor. That's right.
So I paused because
She had her outfit on.
plaintiff India Collier claims after she and the defendant had sex a couple of times, she loaned him some money, but he has yet to repay her.
Let's get to the dating.
Oh, okay, my aunt had just died, and I had just met him like a couple of days before, and he wanted to come and comfort me at my
Oh,
home.
so that was some pity sex.
There you go.
Okay.
He called me when I was very vulnerable, Judge. He called me at a vulnerable time when I hadn't lost that many family members and I lost an aunt. And so he was like, well, let me just come over and let me just hang out with you so you can feel better. So that's how we started dating. And we dated it happened like twice, but.
And it wasn't making you feel better.
Nah, you know, the first time we think it's like a.
He said, I'm gonna go get me an aspirin. This ain't working.
Good powder, baking body, because it didn't even work out. That's the kind I needed. And also, okay, so he came to visit, and we were friends, and I was actually about to get ready to go to out of town for the funeral. And it was like, he knew I had money at that time, but I was about to go to the funeral. He knew I was on the way to my family house, and he just called out the door. He was like,
about to go basically, but can you loan me this $275?
That was the wrong time.
It was the wrong time, and then it was like, COVID, it was COVID, and I go to the bank line long, so my family members waiting on me, trying to get the
Doing
loan.
all this right before the funeral, you're out there in line, waiting on, and ain't even getting no comfort.
No comfort, none. No comforting was done.
You could have gave up some comfort.
Something. I got cussed out more than I got comforted.
Sir?
I promise I ain't never seen a lot like that. So I didn't ask to come to her house. She invited me to her house. I sat up here, came over, didn't know we were gonna lead to sex. And then one day she brought me lunch. I didn't ask her to bring me lunch. She volunteered on her own and brought lunch. Wow. So, yeah.
You asked to borrow money from her while she was on the way to her loved one's funeral.
Yes,
That was insensitive.
sir.
Okay. You were that desperate for money? You borrowed from someone else?
Well, I couldn't have borrowed from nobody else, and at the time when I
What else
asked
did you
her,
borrow with?
when I went to her, I asked her, could she do me a favor? I didn't aggravate her, I didn't insult
I
her.
know, but that's a distraction. She said she had to go to the bank for you and everything. You were being inconsiderate. That's my observation, even based on what you said. It's not against the law. It doesn't have an effect on the case, but I'm just making that observation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what do you say to the loan? Repaying it.
The day that the money was given, I explained to her that I didn't know when I could finish that at the time. She said not to worry about it.
How long ago was that?
That's false, Your Honor. The day of the loan,
That was May of 21.
that is correct, and it was on May the 14th of 2021.
What was there an agreement as to when it would be paid?
He actually told me he'll pay me back in 3 weeks. You could have $20, $25 a haircut. You could have paid me the $275
Why haven't you
back.
paid it yet, sir?
Right, finish.
Okay. You don't have any defense to pay in, so he's not sitting up here trying to deny he borrowed it or lie about paying you, so I respect that. And so he's a decent guy. You don't wanna get back? Nice, he's a nice man.
You think so, Judge?
Yeah, he didn't lie about his debts to you.
Okay.
He stands up to his debts.
All right.
Man, not saying anything negative about what the person would do. I see this man coming in here talking about these women like a dog. He didn't do any of
We
that.
didn't know each other long
He talked about it like a dog when he met you.
Okay.
Cookie lady.
Right. Cookie
But
Monster.
then he redeemed himself for that. Started coming over there with some comfort.
No, Judge. I'm not trying to kill his character, or I'm just letting you know why I don't want him personally. Anyone in the world probably say,
Why?
because it's you trying to play poor mouth, like broke mouth. On social media, you all at shops working, and if you actually go look at my evidence on page 3 and 4, you will see the kind of person that he is and the kind of character that he has. As far as telling the truth, or if you tell a lie.
Listen to you. Hey, are you busy?
What
Got
is that?
time to do a little comfort?
No.
You say okay, just say you did say are you busy? That mean the same thing.
No, it doesn't.
It's been 3 weeks since I've had.
Oh, Judge.
Oh, do you have? It's been 3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any money? Okay.
No, do you have the money to repay that $275 loan?
I'm sorry.
You see it.
Now I know I'm reading this right.
Which
My
part?
door will remain open if you need any more.
You put them glasses
That was
back
good.
on, Judge. We need your new prescription.
Happy Father's Day. Here's another day. Good evening.
Yep.
How are you?
Yep.
You ain't said you did say something about the money a couple of days earlier.
I
You
did.
forgot about that money by this time.
I was even being nice. If you see on page 4 at the top, how are you? He says, trying to make it. Read what I said after that, Judge. What I say to him.
I understand that completely. Would you like to come and work it off?
That's what
Would you like to do a payment plan? Same thing.
That's not the same. You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Because I know I can read to do a payment plan for the loan. It would be easier because I know it's hard for all of us right now.
Like I said,
Yes.
I know it's hard.
It wasn't too hard to take my money though. So, here we are.
More of Judge Mathis in a moment.
I'm unfamiliar altogether.
Yeah.
How many a dog has? I thought that's you can't determine.
Can't.
Can you determine?
I can't determine.
Actually, she knows nothing about breeding, sir. She actually wanted a black poodle from 2 white dogs, which makes no sense.
And later,
That boy, he was out all night, and I smell weed all over him. And when it comes to that,
You look me up or something?
right, see? I know my storytelling.
You're gonna need a new bumper.
Did you say burger?
No, bumper, this one's all smashed.
Cheeseburger. Guac, cheese, teriyaki sauce, pineapple, cheese.
Sir?
Burger, cheese, teriyaki, pineapple, cheese, burger, tea lettuce, burger, cheese, teriyaki sauce, burger, pineapple, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, pineapple, cheese, teriyaki, lazy, sauce, burger.
Sweet, savory, holy teriyaki must have now. Brace yourself, the new teriyaki burger, only at Carl's Jr. Big burger! Big burger.
I'm Jesse's uncertainty, and I really thought house projects were my time to shine. One little, are you sure? He gets stuck before he even got started. But Jesse's changed because of Thumbtack. With their guides, he knows exactly what to do and who to hire, and his house is looking great. His housekeeper.
Uncertainty doesn't live here. You do. Take care of your home with Thumbtack. Download the app today.
do you have a pending lawsuit that you want Judge Mathis to decide? If so, call 1-888-VERDICT or visit us online at www.judgemathiscv.com.
Right for the funeral, you're out there in line, waiting on, and ain't even get no comfort.
No comfort. None. No comforting was done.
You could've gave up some comfort.
Something.
Plaintiff India Collier claims that after she and the defendant had sex a couple of times, she loaned him some money, but he has yet to repay her.
I know it might be hard, but he's a good man. It might be hard sometimes.
Life gets hard. That's true.
Sometimes. Have a good day. Thank you for the flight.
Are you enjoying Chicago? You can't be bored. Right. But you in Chicago though, you in Albany or Columbus, whoever knows, wherever you live.
Plaintiff Karen Elliott Clark works with at-risk youth, and she also has a passion for poodles. Karen claims she decided to breed her male poodle with the defendant's female dog, and she was supposed to get 2 puppies from the litter, but she only got 1, so she's suing. Defendant Jasmine Sanford has been a pet stylist for 10 years, and she recently opened her own grooming salon. Jasmine insists she never guaranteed that Karen would get 2 puppies, and she gave her 1 puppy, so she owes her nothing. She's countersuing for lost wages.
Start with you.
My name is Karen Elliott Carr. I was born here in the city of Chicago, raised in a household of 2 parents, and despite me being raised in a household before the age of 15, I was a mother of 2 children. As a result of this early age experience, I went on and strived to do better things with my life. Became a cosmetologist, instructor, as well as a barber instructor. I began providing volunteer services to teenage girls at risk. And I did this for the sole purpose of my daughter being able to hear things and not get dissuaded in her goals, to be able to surpass some things that teenagers come in contact with. In the course of me doing this, I gathered a passion for working with at-risk individuals. I went on to pursue my education in behavioral health,
I achieved also a degree in business administration. I have a passion for poodles. I have a passion for dogs.
Oh.
And I've had
You got a
dogs.
passion for fools, and that's why you're here. I'm much far from a fool.
I have a passion for poodle dogs. I have a passion for dogs.
People have said I'm a dog back in the day.
Yeah, I started having dogs for pets. So,
You had them as men before that?
metaphorically. So again, and in light of my reasons for being here, I was taking my dog to grooming
Let
and
me stop in and just compliment you on your passion and your service. It's always a good thing for folks to help others overcome the obstacles that they had, the obstacles that you had, two children prior to age 15. Certainly inspired you to want to help the other girls avoid premature adulthood. That's how I would describe it. So thanks for doing that.
thank you. I have currently right now over 20-some years helping individuals in the field of behavioral health and substance abuse disorder.
Good. You tell me, give me some background on yourself.
My name is Jasmine Sanford. I'm 27 years old. I'm a pet stylist of 10 years. I've been grooming since I was 18 years old. I started a big box store a year ago. I competed on HBO, and I actually won that competition against two amazing groomers. The dog I actually groomed was a black poodle. I used to groom her old black poodle. That dog is also the cover photo for the HBO show. So I'm really good at what I do.
What's the name of the show?
Hot Dog, H-A-U-D.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yep, so I'm on episode 11 if you want to go watch.
Yeah, I do.
So also, this year I recently opened a dog grooming salon in South Shore. I'm the only dog
What's
grooming
the name
salon. It's called Royal Paws.
Royal?
Yes, that's my dog's name, so Royal Paws. I'm doing really, really well. I've been open for 3 weeks. I actually had to close today due to come here. And my clients are pretty upset about that. I'm a really great groomer. I do really well. That's why Miss Carrie Elliott reached out to me 8 years after us not talking.
And tell me what happened then, ma'am?
So as stated, there was a time lapse in our communication. She explained to me that she was reaching out to start her own business. I took her phone number, wished her well, and later on I got in touch with her because I have a new dog and I wanted her to groom that dog. In March of 2021, we made an agreement to breed our dogs. And in that agreement, we talked about how the puppies would be distributed. And in that agreement, I didn't care how many puppies were born, I only wanted 2. She insisted that it would only be 4 puppies that would be born, and out of the 4, I would get 1. And I said, no, there will be 6, and I would get 2. And I didn't care about the distribution of the dogs.
Don't go away. More of Judge Mathis is coming up, and still to come.
My mother made my brother take me. He was 6 years older than me. So when he was 16 and started driving, I was 10. And would be in the back seat or wherever I would be. And him and his buddy, we'd be going doing all kind of wrong stuff. And that's how I turned into a hooligan at age 10.
A year ago, I competed on HBO, and I actually won that competition against 2 amazing groomers. The dog I actually groomed was a black poodle. I used to groom her old black poodle. That dog is also the cover photo for the HBO show. So I'm really good at what I do.
Plaintiff Karen Elliott Clark bred her male dog with the defendant's female dog. And she insists she was promised 2 puppies from the litter, but she was only given 1, so she's suing.
Let me ask, you can determine the number of dogs?
You cannot determine the number of dogs that will be.
You said you were very specific, though. You said either 6 or either 4
Right, and my reason for doing that is because she was standing on that it would only be 4 dogs. And my response was that.
That's not true.
Excuse me while I talk right now. I said, I never thought about the dog giving 4 puppies. I was more familiar with dogs giving 6 puppies. And from the 6 puppies, I only want 2.
I'm unfamiliar altogether.
Yeah.
How many a dog has? I thought you can't determine.
You can't.
Can you determine?
I can't determine. Actually, she knows nothing about breeding, sir. She actually wanted a black poodle from 2 white dogs, which makes no sense. Which makes no sense. You're absolutely correct. But my comment on that was is because I had a black poodle. I had just lost a black poodle. My desire and my heart is in the line of a black poodle. I know that those 2 dogs together could produce a black dog. I don't know 100% because dogs have puppies. No, I don't, because I see dogs that have puppies all different colors. However, the dog that I have,
You're not getting no black dog from 2
Yeah.
white dogs. Like, come on now.
Jasmine is trying to misconstrue some information and get away from what we hear about today.
Okay, well let's put that aside and get back to what your expectations were.
My thing was 6 puppies, I get 2. And we can look on page
What if it had been
5
7
and 6.
puppies?
I still wanted 2.
What about 5?
2. How? That's not 6. 2 puppies. How is that not 6? And my rationale for that, Your Honor, is this. She was stout that there will only be 4 puppies. That's not true. And as the 4, we can look at your text. We can look at your text messages, Jasmine.
We're gonna look at the
And your
evidence.
conversation that you had with me because I'm ready. There was no verbal conversation.
Okay, yes, there was. Yes, there was. Yes, there was. I have a
Let me
witness.
allow her to give me a little more clarity,
let's-
since she has a little more expertise than both of us. You go ahead.
All right, Judge. So we did discuss if these dogs bred and they had 6 puppies, that she would take 2. I'm totally fine with that. That's true. This is Peter's first breeding, and actually you can determine a number if your dog has bred before. So her dog has never bred before. I pretty much named
but I have other dogs that only had first breed.
So pretty much I'm helping her out. So on May 15th, my dog gave birth. She gave birth to 5 living puppies. The first dog came out dead on arrival. She birthed 6. The first dog came out dead on arrival. That hurt my soul. I cried for 30 minutes. I had to get it together. I had her come over after all the puppies were here, and I told her we lost one. She argued with me a little bit, but she says, you know what? I'm not gonna argue with you anymore because I was going to breach a contract. I'm gonna talk to my husband.
Argue with you about what?
She argued that she deserves 2 puppies, even though she birthed 6 and 1 was dead. 2 puppies. So I told her.
But why wouldn't she still get 2 though?
She actually agreed. I actually have a witness.
I feel like if y'all already agreed on 2, it should have been regardless. Yeah, regardless of how many she had. Unless she only had 4 or whatever.
About your situation, they were at your
Do you remember chastising her about talking while you were?
This is what she was doing.
And now you're doing exactly what you asked her not to do times 5?
Page 17, there's a witness stating that he was there when she said she was fine with 1 dog. She also texted me on page 5.
She lied.
Saying, hi Jasmine, I am taking a girl. I would like to pick her out. That was because you had told me I couldn't get the one, and if I didn't come and get that one, you were gonna sell it. And yes, I wanted my puppies.
So what evidence did you want to direct me to, ma'am? So far, she has shown me 2 pieces of evidence where you acknowledged there will be 1 and you accepted that.
I acknowledged page 9. I only acknowledged that because I was in her home and she had thrown down, put up her defense that I wasn't gonna give her 1. I could not take the puppies at that time because they were still.
You don't have to take any of them.
More of Judge Mathis in a moment. And later.
I used to come back and report everything I could if my brothers didn't let me share in the trouble. That was the part. You gotta share. Whatever wrongdoing you're doing, you gotta share.
Court is back in session with Judge Mathis. If you have a case you want heard or a dispute you need settled, call us at 1-888-VERDICT.
Plaintiff Karen Elliott Clark bred her male dog with the defendant's female dog. And she insists she was promised 2 puppies from the litter, but she was only given 1, so she's suing.
If there's a breach of contract in front of you, then you don't take any. Since you claim you should have gotten
Right,
two,
yeah.
and taking one would not satisfy the contract, you shouldn't have taken
Well, I
any.
took the one puppy because she threatened to sell it, and I did.
I didn't threaten you.
I did want the puppy. You did, you told
Want to show me, man?
on, page 5 and 6, in the middle of page 5, $50, that was for the service. And then message, 2 puppies, yes, 2 puppies. And then on page 6, we never had a discussion, we just jumped into them hooking up and mating. After they tied for the first time, you mentioned to me about stud fees, which was $1,000 or $5,000. I've been thinking that she would have a litter of 6 and I would get 2. I'm keeping 1 and selling 1 if she only has 4 question mark. And then she wanted to go to,
Oh, I
well,
thought
I
she
get
did it
you
too, 'cause she wanted
1,000
to
or
sell
5,000.
That's not true either. That's not true
It's
either.
in black and white,
That's not true. And I have my reply here.
It's in black and white.
You all never really had a meeting of the minds.
Absolutely.
I don't agree
But
with
what
that.
we do know, ma'am, is that you up front knew when you took that one that that's all it would be.
No,
You
and
knew
she
what-
also settled, Judge, on page 9. I did not.
On page 9, she also sold
Besides,
one puppy.
I am taking a girl. I would like to pick her out. There are 2, she says. So my point is, you acknowledge and state that you're picking 1. That is months ago. How now do you sue for only taking the 1 that you knew you were getting?
I filed a complaint, Your Honor, because I felt threatened and intimidated, and I felt that if I didn't get the 1 dog, I would get no dogs
What would happen to
out
you?
of the litter. I would get no dogs out of the litter.
So you made that judgment to take 1.
Exactly.
Why are you suing her
I'm
for something?
suing her because we initially agreed that I would get 2 puppies out of the deal.
And then
And I
whenever-
should have gotten 2 puppies out of the deal
Yeah.
because of the way things were
And when you don't,
developed.
and when you don't
when
finish,
I
you can
when
talk
I
about
filed
all
the
you
breach of
want.
contract, it was then
Your
that
claim
I
is dismissed.
understood.
It's dismissed. Yours is granted from
Thank
losing your wages
so
today,
much.
you're being
Thank you
unreasonable,
so
man. You
much.
knew you were only getting 1 when you went to get that 1. You settled for 1 instead of 2. Have a
I
good day.
didn't settle for 1.
Your
I
claim
settled
is
for
dismissed.
you ain't made no $2,500.
Oh, you wanna see it? We have it. I do. I don't
Yeah,
agree.
because you a rig,
That's why you came to
and
me.
you're a greedy and fuzzy.
That's why you sought me out, right?
Yeah.
That's why you sought me out, right? Because I'm a horrible groomer and I don't make that much money.
Plaintiff Melissa Merrill says the defendant is her brother, but he's 9 years older than her, and they grew up in different households. Melissa is suing her brother today for drug damages. Defendant Frank Tichy says Melissa went through a rough period in her life, and the 2 of them weren't close for a while. But recently they got back in touch and have been spending more time together. Frank does not believe he's responsible for the drug damages.
Start with you.
So this is my brother Frank. He's 9 years older than me. We grew up separately. He grew up with my grandparents. I grew up with my grandmother. I mean, my mother, my father, and then social services. He was older than me, so he was always doing his thing on the weekends, and I couldn't do half of what he could do. So I guess there was maybe a little bit of jealousy there, but
Like what type of thing?
I don't know. I mean, I was his friend. I'm 10, so he's not gonna want to be hanging out with his 10-year-old sister. And
My mother made my brother take me. He was 6 years older than me. So when he was 16 and started driving, I was 10. It would be in the back seat or wherever I'd be, and him and his buddy, we'd be going doing all kind of wrong stuff. And that's how I turned into a hoodlum at age 10. But how did you all get along?
we got along well. Like I said, I'm sure he didn't want to be hanging out with a little sister, but we didn't have a bad relationship.
Okay. Back at home, you weren't a tattletale. You didn't tell on everything you saw him do.
No.
You have other
If
siblings?
you knew him back then, no.
Okay, good. Well, you were a good little sister. I used to come back and report everything I could if my brothers didn't let me share everything. That was the part, you gotta share it. Whatever wrongdoing you're doing, you gotta share it. So your other siblings, how old, if any?
I have a younger brother, he's 3 years younger than me, so I'm 35, he's 33.
All three of you got along well?
Yeah.
Good.
Stay tuned. The case continues after this. Plaintiff Melissa Merrill is suing her brother, who claims although he and Melissa have had a strained relationship over the years, they have recently reconnected and are trying to repair things between them.
Give us some background, sir, before we get into the truck now.
Your Honor, my mother had me at a very young age. She had me at 15. I was a hidden baby. My grandfather didn't know about me until the day my mother went into labor. So I was raised by my grandparents. Obviously, she was 15 at the time and wasn't the most fit to raise a child. So my grandparents took over the responsibility of raising me. And, 9 years later comes along my sister and then my little brother. And by that time, she was married to their father and they lived together in their own house before things kind of went a little bit sideways with that relationship. And she went down a tough road for a long time, but she's been working very hard to straighten herself out and redeem herself in our lives and stuff like that. So, we're proud of her on that note, but
How about you? You ever had any problems?
Yes, sir, I have had some
And
problems.
then you got past yours. Now let's get this picture right. She was 10 and you were 19. She's seeing all this nonsense that you're doing. And you're doing her. Whether she was doing it or not, she knew of you doing it. And now that she's not so lucky, you wanna act like you're an angel and she's been the devil all these years. She learned it from you. She learned it from you.
Yes, sir. I wouldn't tell you. I'll take responsibility.
Listening to grandmama and granddad, that boy, he was out all night and I smell weed all over him. And when it comes
did you look me up or something?
Right, see? I know my storytelling, but nonetheless, she came around, you came around. What has your life been like?
Things are okay, and I'll be honest with you, since your show has gotten us in contact, it's actually brought us closer back together, and I've gotten to start to rebuild the relationship with my nephew and my sister, and we've done dinner a couple of times, and we're mending some fences, and
Good.
this show has a big part to do with that.
Good, thank you. Thank you. Let me hear about the truck damage which we saw about here now.
So, I have to look back, but I think it was on May 11th, 2020. He texted me and said his car broke down the night before. It was in the shop. He needed a car. He needed to look for a job and he needed to look for a new apartment. So I told him I was skeptical. I had never rented a car before. I told him I felt comfortable if we added insurance. So he said, okay, we'll get the insurance. No big deal. And as you can see on page 2, Your Honor, it's the rental agreement where the insurance is added on.
Okay.
And he was added on as a driver.
All right.
There were 2 extensions on that truck. We renewed the truck 2 times.
Okay.
We had an agreement to meet up to bring the truck in. He at that time said he wanted to get a car. He didn't want to get a truck. So I couldn't get a hold of him that morning. He had overslept. I went to his residence and that's where I saw that the truck had damage. I confronted him. He said he had an accident on the highway, that a semi came into his lane, and that he crossed during the barrier, and he spun out on the highway and landed on the other side of the highway. He told me that his phone was dead, so he didn't get the call in tow truck, so he just threw it 2 exits away. I had called the rental place. I told them about the accident. They informed me that I needed to call my insurance company. About a week later, I got a message from them saying that because he was not on my policy, that they weren't covering the damages. So that invoice is on page 18. That says that they're denying the claim for the truck.
What about the rental car?
So at that time, and this is where I take responsibility, I was naive. I didn't check the paperwork that was emailed to me. So at that time, I noticed that the rental insurance was not added on. So I don't know if that didn't get added on the second time or the third time.
Who was there to discuss the insurance that the rental car company provided? Were you there
The insurance was initially added the first time we got the truck.
That's the first time, but what's in discussion is the third time. You said you don't
Yeah,
know if it
I
was.
guess I just assumed that he would add it on because I told him that I wanted the insurance.
I'm trying to make sure whose duty it was to confirm that there was insurance. And if it was him talking to the rental car company, sir, it was your duty.
Judge Mathis rules on this dispute shortly.
Shop Etsy anytime for furniture, lighting, and other thoughtful pieces made by real people to bring a little something extra to the ordinary. Find handmade items that add wow to your walls. Help your party setup pop. And new things to help you fall in love with your family room again. When you want one-of-a-kind items to give your home a little fresher, Etsy has it.
Avondale Elementary School District, where everyone needs education. Discover why Avondale is the West Valley's district of choice. From an award-winning preschool and gifted program
to video and performing arts, coding, and robotics.
To athletics.
And look for an after-school care. In Avondale, all children grow as thinkers, problem solvers, and communicators to pursue their future without limits. Enroll today at chooseaesd.org.
Welcome to the Credit Commonwealth, a place where financial progress can happen at the speed of delight. Here we help you achieve your money goals fast, like improving your credit scores in a matter of days fast, so you don't have to wait around to see your hard work pay off. Oh, well done. Simply scan your screen to experience Intuit Credit Karma for yourself.
Plaintiff Melissa Merrill is suing her brother, who claims although he and Melissa have had a strained relationship over the years, they have recently reconnected and are trying to repair things between them.
Tell me about this rental car and lack of insurance.
So, she helped me out big time. The transmission in my truck had gone, and I didn't have a car. I was in the middle of moving out of an apartment. So I asked her if she would help me out. She agreed to do that. I had the truck for, I want to say, about 3 weeks the first time. Then we went back and did it again. And then the third time, I had called a couple of days before. I told him that I was thinking about switching into another car. Like I didn't need the big truck anymore. I was going to get like a smaller car or something else. And the guy said, your sister is leasing her vehicle. She has top tier insurance. Like, you're going to save a couple of $100 by not getting the insurance. And I kind of went with that. He said that, she has best insurance. You have nothing to worry about. You take great care of the car. Like, no problem. And then, of course, I'm driving on the highway and I get ran off the road by a Mack truck. And honestly, I'm pretty lucky that it was like in the middle of like the really serious COVID time when there was no cars on the road. Because if this would have happened during like, non-COVID time, there's a good chance I could have been dead. Because I spun out, the truck stalled, and I was just, the Mack truck took off. And I'm like trying to like start it, but like, I'm just such a panic that I don't even realize that I have to put the truck back in park to get it to start. So that took me a couple of seconds to like get my bearings. I'm facing the wrong way on the highway. So finally I get the truck started, I take it back to where I'm living, and yeah, I was definitely very afraid to tell my sister about the situation. And then I think it was 2 weeks later, we just got blindsided with this bill saying we owe $5,500.
But they did an investigation and couldn't determine that it was a third party fault. Is that what happened? They said, well, we can't determine it's somebody else's fault, so we can't cover it because it was your fault. Is that what the letter pretty much said?
Your Honor, it said that he wasn't on my policy, so they couldn't cover it. If it was my personal vehicle, they could, but not the rental.
I felt awful about the situation. I'll be honest, like, I obviously didn't have $5,500 to pay. I went about it the complete wrong way. I started avoiding her.
But the good news is, you don't need $5,500. That's good. So Don't worry about that. Don't worry about having $5,500. $5,500, don't worry about that. Just worry about having 5,000. Judgment for the plaintiff, $5,000. No need for 5,500, just 5,000. You're liable, sir. Ultimately, it comes down to the driver. Folks should know that you just can't tear up a person's car and say, well, I don't owe you because you got insurance. Yes, you do. You are responsible for every dime. 5,000 is your judgment, not 5,500. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to keep, building a relationship with this process and hope we can move on from here.
I'm so grateful for this opportunity, to be on the show, and, like I said, the show has brought us back together as a family, and I'm getting to, see my nephew and spend time with my nephew again, and my sister, and cook them dinner, and hang out, and meet all my family again, and I'm just looking forward to
Real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Raven Tillman says she and the defendant used to be best friends until they had a falling out over a trip to Las Vegas. And the defendant started hooking up with Raven's ex-boyfriend. Raven suing her former friend for the trip expenses. Defendant Jessica Peak says if Raven cared about her ex-boyfriend, she never would have met up with a random guy in Vegas whom she met on Tinder. Jessica denies owing Raven for anything.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mann is presiding. You may now be seated.
All right, start with you.
Well, let me just start off by saying this is a setting that we have to be here. The defendant used to be my best friend. Aside from the reason why we're here, she also decided to start hooking up with my ex-boyfriend, which she knew I had been.
That's why you're suing her. I thought we were here because you want your money. You want your boyfriend. He only worth $700?
No.
You don't want him back if he's only worth $700?
Definitely not.
What you say? He's worth a dime? He at least 10 cents.
Yeah.
50 cents. 50 cents.
Maybe.
What you doing, man?
I think he's worth zero.
He's worth
have
zero to you.
having-
Your boyfriend?
Yeah, he's not my boyfriend. I have never, nor have I ever wanted anything to do with him like that.
That's not true, ma'am. You hear that? We gotta iron this out first.
Your Honor,
Before we
she
get
is so
to this
worried about.
trip expenses,
Is she
we
so
gotta.
worried about her,
Go ahead.
her boyfriend? Why did she meet a random guy on Tinder while we were there? While she was supposed to be on a vacation with someone who was supposed to be her so-called wannabe boyfriend.
Young lady, what you doing on Tinder?
Well, I missed 26th and it was Vegas, and he was paying for us to play on slots. So, I mean, what's wrong with that?
You had relationships with a man to get slot, to get, what they call it?
No, we were just talking.
Slot machine, huh?
No, we were just talking, and that was pretty much it.
I
Like,
thought Tinder, you
wasn't
trying to
doing
find
anything.
some, I thought on Tinder,
Thank
you
you.
trying to find
Whew.
somebody to have relations with.
Yeah, but that wasn't the point of that
You
situation.
was looking for somebody for the, they call that something too.
One-arm bandit.
Oh, I thought the iron, somebody else.
Not me, no, but I've actually known the defendant since 2018.
Let's get back to, her stealing your boyfriend. She said she didn't. She said he's worth zero. You say he's worth 50 cents.
Yeah.
What's the real amount? This is Price is Right.
Playing, they trying to get to the
See, at least Jessica's smiling. You're right, Jessica. You didn't want anything to do with him. She's hurt. She want him back. Get him back. See, look at her. Whole thing. Want him back. Want to talk to him?
No. So again, I've known her since 2018. We were both both pregnant at the same time. We started a friendship, grew close while we were pregnant. After we had our daughters, we were going on trips together, and we were, you know, like splitting it. I was doing most of the driving. I mean, like, our friendship worked out evenly all the time, so it never really made a big deal to me. We started talking at the beginning.
Yes, you may.
I believe that Raven is hurt from this whole situation for what, I mean, we got into arguments, for one, about her leaving with this guy on Tinder, like, she's just going off with a random guy. Now she's claiming that she thinks I want Nick, which definitely don't, like, I feel like she's just doing this to be all.
And then seems like she got a little irritated when I started to delve into that Nick stuff and have a little fun with it. She got a little irritated and gonna switch the subject. As I said, we've known each other. You brought that up. The first thing out your mouth is, oh, my boyfriend. And then when I look into it and start talking about it and discussing it, all of a sudden you irritated and want to skip back. Like I said, we were talking about how long we would known each other. No, we weren't. We were talking about first killing Nick. That's what you started out with. I will act like you weren't. Let's get back on the subject. That was the subject. That was the only subject. Nick. Now you say you don't have Nick, right?
I definitely.
You never had Nick, right?
Never had.
So she shouldn't be hurt about Nick, right?
Right.
Let's get to the money.
I mean, I don't talk to Nick really anymore. Why isn't she talking to Nick and trying to contact him herself? I don't want anything to do with him.
Last question on Nick. Why aren't you contacting him yourself?
Well, I've known him since middle school, and when me and Jessica got in a fight, he decided to take her side.
Take her side or go with her as his girl? Or as
That part I don't know. I mean, we weren't together.
If I may honor, Raven actually had control of our flight tickets while we were there, and she canceled our flight. So
Okay,
that's
let's
why
get to that, the tickets, because the trip expense, because you all are confused about Nick. You saying at one point he took her side. Before that, she took him, period.
Don't go away. More of Judge Mathis is coming up.
She wanted to go to the male stripper show. She booked tickets to go there.
You on the wow! Tinder, male strippers. You had a ball. Now you want to pass her to death. Did you get some Tinder?
And coming up.
Your Honor, when he did turn in the vehicle finally, he pulled up in a brand new sports car, yet he wasn't making any attempt to pay off the truck.
That was his woman.
Your Honor, if I can explain this.
Woman's car.
I got a brand new Chevy Camaro, not a brand new, 2013, with no money down, $250 a month payment, so that is why.
When you smell the amazing scent of Gain Flames, time stops. Your heart races. Your eyes close. And you realize you're in love.
Steve!
With the laundry detergent. Gain Flames, seriously good scent. And 50% more fresh. Now that's love at first sniff.
Gotta get rid of this.
Tell me why.
Cause it stinks.
Tell me why.
I don't know, I've washed it so many times.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh?
It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them 3 times better than detergent alone.
Cause the odor went bye-bye.
That's not us.
Rinse odor away with Downy Rinse and Refresh.
The first thing out your mouth is, oh, my boyfriend. And then when I look into it and start talking about it and discussing it, all of a sudden you irritated and want to skip back. Like I said, we were talking about how long we were known each other. No, we weren't. We were talking about her killing Nick. That's what you started out with.
Defendant Jessica Peak is being sued by her former friend. who claims they fell out after Jessica started hooking up with her ex-boyfriend.
$700 trip expenses. How does she owe you for that? What happened?
We went to a private show. We were spending a day at the spa. We had a cabana rental.
Yeah, Your Honor, if I may,
Go ahead.
I paid for 2 elaborate dinners, and then like we went to In-N-Out, and I paid for that also.
All right. What was the agreement on it?
We agreed that she was going to pay me back. I mean, there's never something that I questioned or doubted that she would do things.
Pay you back the entire amount that was spent?
Yeah.
Why would she pay 100% and you pay 0% of it?
No, that was her half of.
Okay, so the total amount was about $1,400 then?
Yes.
All right. And you assumed, or she said she would?
On page 9, she stated that she would pay me back.
Oh, before, you must first have the agreement before the transaction occurred. You can't wait till after the transaction and then say, I think you owe me something. Now that I think about
I
it.
understand that, but when we were discussing while we were doing these things, she did state that she was going to pay me back.
Half of all expenses?
Her half, yes.
Young lady, you tell me what the agreement was when you all were in Vegas accumulating the expenses of up to $1,400 or so. 14 it appears.
honestly, there was no agreement. We were just doing things as we naturally wanted. Those are things that Raven wanted to do. She wanted to go to the male stripper show. She booked tickets to go there.
You on the wow!
Yes.
Male strippers! You had a ball, now you wanna pass her to death. Did you get some Tinder?
I was not using Tinder.
Oh, well then how you gonna ask her to pay and she didn't even use Tinder? Her night wasn't big as yours. That's why she don't wanna pay you. I don't blame you. She one had the big night. Go ahead. But you went back to the room, didn't you? You read the Bible. Yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I never agreed to pay her. Sorry, going back to what I was saying. I never agreed to pay Reagan beforehand. It was once we got to the airport and she started threatening me that she was gonna cancel my flight tickets, which she had information for if I did not pay her money or money that was spent while we were there. She also states in text message, I think it's the second or third one I gave you, that she wasn't actually requesting money for the cabana and all of this because she knows this is stuff she wanted to do, but yet she's coming here today and saying that she's.
She says that where, ma'am? Where does she say that?
On page 3 of the text messages.
Did you miss your flight? Blocking you everywhere. Bye. I'm suing you. I told you to pay me back and you declined. You threatened to leave my things outside. I'm not texting you anymore. So canceling the tickets you paid for, you read the part where it refers to what you just stated. Read the portion that says you don't have to pay for the cabana or anything else that was what she wanted. You said you have that in the text on page 3, and I can't quite read it. It's very small print.
She said, I'm actually not making you pay for the cabana, but then she goes on to say that I stated I'd pay for half of that.
And that's on page 3?
It's on page 4, sorry.
Oh, no wonder it got to do with me being able to read it.
Oh, sorry. My first man.
All right. You asked me to use what I owe you to pay for him. I'm talking about Nick again. Y'all talking about, and I'm actually not making you pay for the cabana, but you stated you pay half for that. Did you?
I did not make any agreement before she spent money. Those are things she wanted. She rented this cabana and we didn't even use it. I never used it. We were in the pool for an hour and a half and she rented, how much was that cabana? Like, she's always gotta want these big, fancy things. I didn't want that. Why would I pay for that? I would never use that cabana. And then now she's trying to sue me for use of the cabana. Like, if I didn't use that, why would I pay for that.
Young lady,
And like,
you do say on here that you're not making her pay for the cabana, but today you list that as well as part of your lawsuit.
Well, because she stated that she would pay her half.
When did she tell you? Show me where it says she'll pay half.
Doesn't say
Okay.
half.
And did you agree to pay her anything?
I didn't before anything, but after she was pressuring me and all this, like she called me and she was like, you need to go get this money now and you need to bring it to me or I'm canceling your flight.
You got to the airport and say, you know, I give you no ticket, you give me that money. Is that how that went?
No, sir, it's not.
Oh.
They paid their tickets before. We all paid it together using my credit card.
So anyone have any evidence where she said she would not pay or she would cancel your flight unless you paid? Do you have that? Because you're the one that keeps saying that, ma'am, Jessica.
Page 3 states, I told you to pay me back, you declined. You threatened to leave my things outside, I'm not texting you anymore. I said, for canceling tickets we paid for or trying to. And talking about my parents too, I didn't cancel. Yeah, they told us, the guy at the gate had told me that she had canceled the tickets, but they were non-refundable, so she wasn't getting the money back for them anyways. And I showed him like our text messages saying.
So how did you get back if she canceled them?
I pleaded with the guy and showed him our text messages at the gate that we had already paid for these
Do you
tickets.
have any evidence for this begging?
This begging.
Because a stranger begged him enough.
Right, ain't no way. Especially at no airlines. They don't care about none of that.
You were in the same category as the daughter. That's all. And the daughter, he looked
These
at
people are
someone who
crazy.
caused him a crunch in his lifestyle, for lack of a better term. I'm paying this, and he took everything, and now mama ain't giving her nothing. That's what's going on, man.
And later,
Well, Your Honor, he confessed to me today that he's never watched your show, and I took offense to that.
He should have. That was a bad move. To come out here not having known what you were in for, Doc.
do you have a pending lawsuit that you want Judge Mathis to decide? If so, call 1-888-VERDICT or visit us online at www.judgemathiscd.com.
She called me and she was like, you need to go get this money now and you need to bring it to me or I'm canceling your flight.
You got to the airport and said, you know, I give you no ticket, you pay me that money. Is that how that went?
Defendant Jessica Peak is being sued by her former friend, who claims they fell out after Jessica started hooking up with her ex-boyfriend.
So it wasn't extortion because you got your tickets after all. So it wasn't extortion by her because the man gave in.
She did try to cancel it and it was in her name, but if I paid for a ticket and I showed the guy.
If you had the ticket and you used the ticket. So I don't know why you're making reference to this as a reason or being relevant to the debt that you owe.
She told me that she was going to cancel her flight or my flight.
She didn't do any of that. She didn't do any of that.
And she did do that.
She didn't do any of
And
that.
she knows that she said that. So the fact that she would sit here and lie, whatever.
That's
I really, if she wants to lie and be whatever, she knows she tried to cancel that flight ticket.
Okay, but she did.
She did, yeah. That's what he said.
So it's irrelevant. If you all are discussing and she says, I want to hit you in the eye next week, you think you can go to the police? She says she's just going to hit me in the eye on Monday. Monday passed, she didn't do it.
Instead of claiming and going around claiming she did something she didn't do, she spent money. She's upset she spent money because she got upset and vindictive. She wanted to use that against me, just like she got vindictive when Nick wasn't doing what
Therefore,
she
you're
wanted.
not going to pay her. And I'm going to conclude that out of fairness you are, and now I do believe her based on the testimony you're giving. And $707 is your judgment. Minus $236 that you said you would deduct for the cabana. How much is that? $471. $471 is your judgment. Have a good day.
I don't think it's fair that I pay for anything that's on the line in this whole situation. regret that decision. I'm just glad that it's over.
I don't really understand stuff.
Plaintiff Laura Brown says her daughter dated the defendant and they had a child together. But they ultimately broke up because the defendant is financially irresponsible. Laura is suing her daughter's ex for the balance due on a car. Defendant Jacob Bretzloff says after he had a child with Laura's daughter, she became extremely controlling. And she ended up taking all of the money they'd saved to buy a home. So that's why he didn't pay Laura.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, it all started in 2012 when my daughter met Jake Young right out of high school. They started dating, and they moved in together, and my daughter did end up getting pregnant. They were very responsible. They wanted to make a go of it, start a family. At that time, everything seemed to be going well. My granddaughter was born. I co-signed for their first apartment together. Jacob had a pretty good job. He was working hard. My daughter was in college and working also. And my family and myself cared about Jake a lot. We had no problem with Jake whatsoever. Fast forward to 2018, they ended up breaking up. And some of what I know is Jake wasn't real responsible with his finances. An example would be he had bought a couple Xboxes, a large screen TV. I know my daughter was upset he was playing video games a lot and stuff, but another example is my granddaughter is now 7, and she has an Apple Watch, an iPhone. She's going on her second iPad, all which her dad had bought her. And he just turned out that he wasn't real financially responsible. But at the time in 2016, when I co-signed to lease a vehicle for him, I did not know this. I didn't realize that.
Okay, let me get to him and then we'll catch up after he gives some background. Sir, you want to give some background?
Your Honor, if I can start, like she did say, in 2012, I did meet her daughter. We were together 6 years, and our relationship after we had a kid just went rocky. She's very controlling. My checks got deposited into her bank account. It was always her way or the highway. And at that point, yes, I did buy an Xbox TV. My relationship, it was my way away from the relationship. But then we did split up, and when we split up, we were looking at buying houses right before then. I had $10,000 saved up. We did. It was in her account, and we had a safe. And when we split up, she took all that money. I had child support, and when it came around to the truck timing, when
He hasn't gotten into that yet. That's what she's suing on. You were giving me background on the relationship. So it sounds like you say from 2012 to 16, everything was all right?
it was, we had our fair share of it. It was all right.
There's more Judge Mathis after this, and still to come.
It's just a man who likes a bunch of women and can't settle down. Nothing wrong with that, as long as he's not fornicating with them.
Your Honor.
You don't fornicate, do you?
No, sir.
Thank you. How about you?
To provide for a family, you need a good job. We're seeing thousands of new jobs thanks to President Biden's clean energy investments. Good paying jobs for construction workers, electricians, and mechanics. Find out how President Biden's plan is supporting working families.
This is the new Woodside home of Jess and Dan. In their old home, the playroom was upstairs.
One time, while I was cooking dinner, Bree dumped the entire fish tank onto the floor.
But now she has.
A reading nook? That's a playroom when I need it.
Woodside Homes built solutions for their needs, even a few they didn't know they had.
Stuff. Beat my drops on.
You go, Dan. Forgetting something, Jess?
Oh yeah, 2 laundry rooms. Nice.
It sure is. Woodside Homes, welcome to your new home life.
One of summer's greatest hits is Macy's July 4th sale. Save on shorts, tees, and swim from your favorite brands. It's a lovely way to celebrate the holiday.
My daughter was upset he was playing video games a lot and stuff, but another example is my granddaughter is now 7, and she has an Apple Watch, an iPhone. She's going on her second iPad, all which her dad had bought her. And he just turned out that he wasn't real financially responsible.
Defendant Jacob Retzloff dated the plaintiff's daughter, and they have a child together. But he claims they broke up because the plaintiff's daughter was extremely controlling.
So why do you think she changed?
It just, I always worked
And
throughout
controlling.
There was fights at home I worked. I was the only one that worked most
No,
of
but
throughout the whole
what do you
relationship.
think changed? If she wasn't controlling from 2012 until a few years later, why do you think she became controlling? That's the most, the biggest issue, it sounds like you say you guys had.
Right, if I knew that answer, maybe we'd be together.
Okay, she'll be together if
Yes,
you
sir.
knew the answer, all right. You only have the one child?
Yes, and like you did say, I do buy these things, the bags, I always put my daughter first. She's always been my pride and joy. She's always had everything that I do, could give her.
And quite frankly, if that's his only habit, ma'am, you getting away good. If his only habit was buying video games and playing video, most husbands have much worse habits than that.
Your Honor, I've never been the type to go to the bar, go out,
Strip
leave with my
club,
daughter, and
gambling,
never been any of
gold,
that. No,
drinking excessively,
No, sir.
none of that.
nothing.
All right. And ma'am, tell me about co-signing for the truck. That's what you're suing for. Well, what happened?
The 2016, the vehicle that he was driving broke down, and he needed a new one, and he needed reliable transportation to get to work. And at that time, I don't believe Jake had anyone that could co-sign for him, and I was willing to. I had no problem doing that. I fully trusted Jake. Well, fast forward to 2019, because it was a 3-year lease. It was due to be turned in, and they contacted me, and I contacted Jake, and he kept saying he would. That was in September. Eventually, he did turn in the lease in 2019 October. Well, that's where the problem started. There was $2,537 worth of miles over and damage to the vehicle. I said to Jake, "Are you going to pay this?" He said yes. Even if you look on page 6 of the evidence, he states that he will turn in the truck in Ohio, where he's now living, and take care of any damages or payments or anything due. Well, I kept trying to reach him. He blocked me at one point. He said, "Talk to my daughter," said she's the devil, and just wouldn't pay. And my credit is very important to me, and so I made all the payments.
All right, sir, what do you say to this?
Yes, sir. The whole point, she did ask me, she said, "Are you going to pay me?" And at a point, I just lost my job at the time, and I told her, I said, "You should ask your daughter for the money." And that's what I said to her verbally in person several times. I said, "Your daughter stole money from me. Your daughter, when we split up, she took all of Lloyd's toys, clothes, everything. She took everything I had." And the reason why this was that her daughter lived with her. She supported her daughter. She supported those things. And I was, at the time.
Well, I got news for you, whether the daughter lives with her or not.
Right.
She knows support it.
Right, I get it, exactly. And paying $1,000 a month in child support for one kid, and yeah, it's
That
just.
means you make pretty good money.
But I lost my job and I switched to it. It's hard to go find another job where you're gonna make that kind of
Oh,
money.
yeah,
you know?
you're not gonna make money
No.
anymore unless you have some paperwork.
So then that's how we got to this.
Paperwork, some type of preparation, post-high school.
Right.
That you can show an employee.
When Jake, Your Honor, when he did turn in the vehicle finally, he pulled up in a brand new sports car, yet he wasn't making any attempt to pay off the truck.
That was his woman.
Your Honor, if I can explain this.
Woman's car.
I got a brand new Chevy Camaro, not a brand new, 2013, with no money down, $250 a month payment. So that is what, me being a 25-year-old single man, yes, I had a daughter, it was safe for her, and that's what I got. Now that car's paid off because I got in an accident.
Yes, ma'am.
If you look on page 15, you can see that I tried desperately texting Jake, repeatedly asking him if he would make any payments, and I even offered, I said, if you're hurting for money, or if you can't, make the monthly payments, you can make something to me low, like $100 a month or something for 3 years or anything, just any, I was trying to get him to just pay something. I don't care how long it took. I was really trying to work with Jake.
Yeah, well, the problem I'm hearing is that you were in the same category as the daughter, that's all, and the daughter he looked at as someone who, has caused him, a crunch in his lifestyle, for lack of a better term. I'm paying this, and he took everything, and now mama ain't giving her nothing. But that's what's going on, man. Other than that, he seems like a nice guy. I would have hoped that they could have worked it out. She dates someone now? That ain't none of my business. That's a rhetorical.
Yes, she's actually engaged and getting married, and Jake has moved on also.
All right.
I have a baby coming on Monday.
He ain't as nice
Oh,
as
Monday.
Jake. What'd you say,
I
Jake?
said I have a baby coming here Monday.
Right, well, congratulations to both. You convey that to your daughter, and congratulations to you, and hopefully you all, have found folks that are just as, compatible as you all were up until you believe she turned control. And so, I'm gonna grant her judgment, however, sir, you have no legal defense to not paying, and you have stated that you would pay her on this document. And so I'm gonna keep you to your word. Judgment for the plaintiff, you all have a good day.
Thank you.
I'm glad this is resolved, and I'm glad it's over.
I agree. Glad it's behind us. We can move forward. Put Lily first. That's all that matters.
Plaintiff April Burton says the defendant is her stepbrother.
Oh,
And although
yeah,
he's
isn't.
college educated
Oh.
and a published author, she claims his philandering ways is what landed them in court today. She's suing him for breach of contract. Defendant Leon Hoskins says he is 58, has never been married, and has no kids. But it's not because he's a womanizer, it's by design. He's countersuing his stepsister for rental fees and the cost of food.
Let's start with you, ma'am.
I am, so my stepbrother, we are 2 of 6 children. When his single father of 2 and my single mom of 4 united, we were kind of like the black version of Brady Bunch.
Okay.
My brother is very charismatic, college educated, he's a military veteran, published author, but it's his philandering ways that have us here today.
More of Judge Mathis when we return.
Let's clear it out. This is my place and my food. Put that chicken down. Don't you touch it. Hey, that corn on the cob. They're right here.
Hey, let's not talk about the macaroni and cheese, Judge.
That's right. And you know they love that.
Court is back in session at Judge Mathis. If you have a case you want heard or a dispute you need settled, call us at 1-888-VERDICT.
Defendant Leon Hoskins is being sued by his stepsister, who claims they're in court today as a result of Leon's philandering ways.
He's got to
His
get arrested.
philandering ways. What do you know of that, and why does it bother you?
Well, he, of the 6 of us, my brother and I are very, very close. I say philandering ways because he tends to want to introduce me, to a majority of the women that he encounters. And a lot of times it's not always a good outcome.
That's just a man who likes a bunch of women and can't settle down. Nothing wrong with that, as long as he's not fornicating with them.
Your Honor.
You don't fornicate, do you?
No, sir.
Thank you. How about you?
Me?
Yes.
Fornicating with women? No.
Men, anything.
No, Your Honor, I'm very single.
Go ahead. How have your relationship been since the 2 families merged?
I thought it was awesome. But well, Your Honor, he confessed to me today that he's never watched your show, and I took offense to that.
Well, he should have. That was a bad move. To come on here not having known what you were in for, Doc. what you coming for.
Say this, that I am a big fan of your show. I have watched your show.
No, don't try. Well, you see, that's because you see me practicing, getting ready for you.
No, sir.
Oh, no.
I admire you greatly. Read the book, and I do watch your show.
Thank you, sir.
But let me start out by saying before Your Honor and before God, I'm 58 years old. I've never been married. I have no kids, and that's by design. The thing that we're here for today, and the reason why I'm defending my good name is because I think that, like Your Honor, my story kind of mirrors yours in the sense that I grew up in the streets a little bit and made some bad choices, suffered the consequences of them, and I put myself up by my bootstraps, got myself dusted off, and now I'm doing very, very well. I don't have Your Honor's money, but I am doing very, very well in my chosen profession, which I am a writer. I have to be a writer.
Go ahead, man. Tell me what happened.
My brother was proposed to by a fiance, his former fiance. They were getting married in Montana. They wanted to come to Arizona where I reside for a little celebration. They wanted to secure lodging. I didn't particularly care for the choice and their price range, so I let them know that as a wedding gift, I would contribute $100 a day towards lodging. Between securing the lodging and them arriving to Arizona, fiance called off the wedding. I was informed the night before that she may or may not show up. I've submitted evidence of me putting a deposit down. I was refunded everything but the $300 of that deposit. My brother showed up, no fiance, no wedding, and I let him know that that gift was conditioned to them getting married.
You let him know when? You let him know when?
Actually, I let him know the day that he arrived here in Arizona.
Was that before or after you put up the money?
This was after I put up the money.
So after you put up the money, you make the contract. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, Judge Mathis, it was an Airbnb. The arrangements had been worked out between my sister and my former fiance. $200 present a gift for us when we came down to stay in this Airbnb. When I arrived in Phoenix, it was a house full of people, at least 10 people.
So you knew it was a wedding gift.
Yes, absolutely, a gift.
That's what I needed to hear. He already knew when he received it that it was a conditional gift, which is what marriage gifts are.
But Your Honor, the arrangements were made between my sister and my former fiance. I was just advised. I spent $1,000 of my money to pay for the Airbnb. I stayed there the first night. I was there in and out the second day and the third day because I was grieving of the breakup of my relationship. She called me the runaway bride, and I just really wasn't in the mood to be dealing with a lot of people. It was a house full of people, and I took care of the people the whole time I was there. I fed them, I brought drinks for everybody, and so the additional, besides the $1,000, there was another $200 I spent just feeding and buying alcohol for a house full of people, half of which I didn't even know.
Don't go away. More of Judge Mathis is coming up.
I'm confused. Yeah.
They were gonna stay in an Airbnb.
This making you uncomfortable? Good. When you've got type 2 diabetes like me.
You said as a what?
As a household for the newlyweds?
Right. This was their honeymoon, or they was after they were? Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I'm not trying to scare you. I'm empowering you to get real with your healthcare provider. Talk to them about lowering your risk of stroke, heart attack, or death.
Everyday savings, energy efficiency, rebates. Every day you have ways to save energy and money. Schedule a home energy checkup for savings recommendations tailored to your home. Find rebates on smart thermostats, appliances, and more at the APS Marketplace. Compare your rate plan options and switch to the plan that would have saved you the most money. Find ways to save at aps.com/Friday.
Defendant Leon Hoskins is being sued by his stepsister. who turns 74 today as a result of Leon's philandering ways.
Did you tell me about this counterclaim for rental fees and the cost of food?
Your Honor, there was no agreement. You spent this, you get paid that. On the day that we were having the celebration, went to the grocery store, came back. We did, these 10 guests that he's speaking of, we didn't see them until the dinner was almost done. So he did a disappearing act also when he was here in Phoenix. We never discussed, he never called my cell, said he was leaving. I didn't have a problem with him, visiting friends while he was here.
You heard what she said? Do you agree?
No, I don't agree. I was not there. I was in celebrating at that point. I just ended my relationship with my fiance, so it didn't feel like a party. I didn't have a desire to party.
He never shared that with me. I didn't see any signs of him breathing.
You didn't think he would be upset about
Yeah.
like what?
Called off because of his action. But that's between you and the ex.
Why are you just holding her responsible for what 10 people did? That was your money, your responsibility, your money. You should have went by there and said, let's clear it out. This is my place and my food. Put that chicken down. Don't you touch it. Hey, that corn on the cob. That's right. And you know they love that.
I'm truly sorry for any pain that I caused her. I'm heartbroken with this as well, and I'll have to live with that for the rest of my life.
You know, when to come here, thinking it was going my favor, which it did, but it went your favor also, but you know you didn't tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And
Real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Shamika Hampton dated the defendant, and they were both crack addicts who lost their 2 children to the system. Shamika says she's trying to regain custody, but wants to prove the defendant is the father of her youngest child. So she petitioned the court